If I leave like underwear out, if I left underwear out, because I'm a little bit like a crotch up at the end of the night, like coming home from work late, crotch up, pants up on the bathroom floor.
Yeah.
Kind of undresser.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my vibe. Guys, that's my vibe. I'm sorry. That is my vibe.
Yeah.
And Gina takes those fucking underwear and I'm like, I am your mother. I am your mother. What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I just want to thank everybody, you at home, but mostly the two ladies joining me, Caissie St. Ange,
Hello.
Shantira Jackson.
Hi.
Because I texted them and I said, you have two choices here. You can listen to me eat pizza in your ears, or you can push it 15 minutes. And everybody said thumbs up to pushing it.
Plus, you just got to eat your pizza without like worrying about it. You just have your pizza.
It's chill. It's National Pizza Day.
It's National Pizza Day, which by the time you hear this, it won't be. But you know what the good thing is? You can still have pizza.
It's literally like it is National Pizza Day, but what day isn't?
I mean, what day isn't? What day isn't eat whatever the fuck you want day?
That's right.
Especially this last year, if you was thinking about doing something else, just eat whatever you want.
As my friend Amber pointed out, she was like, what happens when National Pizza Day falls also on Taco Tuesday? What do you do? And I said, you know what to do. You know what to do.
Both.
Taco pizza.
Yeah.
I worked at CPK.
I love. I wasn't even thinking taco pizza. I was like, you just go get tacos and pizza, and then that's the answer.
Yeah. However you want to do it.
Okay, guys. I just want to start off by saying I had the most delightful pap smear today.
That's awesome.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I feel really good about it. I took control of my reproductive lady health. I got it all checked out. I missed it last year because COVID vibes, and I just didn't do it. I was like, let's leave the OBGYN to the people that need OB.
Yeah.
And I just needed a GYN, and while getting your shit all swiped is important, very important. If you haven't done it, if you also missed because of COVID, let this, me telling you that my pap smear was delightful today, be your reminder that you could call tomorrow or today. I don't know what time you're listening to this. You could call right now, possibly pause.
Pause us.
Press pause us, and call your doctor. And set a time for you to go in and get your cervix swabbed to make sure all that shit's good. And talk to her or him. I have no judgments. I have a male OBGYN in Los Angeles. I have a lady here. Both delightful. Anyway, she had a nice way about her swabbing. We had a delightful conversation about how to end the maternal mortality rate in this country.
Oh, nice.
How to make it better. Things that we need to pass. Things we need to do. How women need to rise up and take healthcare back into their own, not exactly in their own hands, but kind of like we kind of do. Like, it was also like very interesting. We just had a wonderful conversation. Obviously, this is the doctor that I got from my best friend, Michelle, here in New York. And because obviously, but just about how part of what has happened to women and women's healthcare in this country has been so perpetrated on us by men and by lawmakers.
Yeah.
And it extends to this very basic thing of that we have one of the worst maternal mortality rates now in the world.
It's really bad.
And especially among women of color, especially among Black women.
Yeah.
This is a fucking issue.
Oh, yeah.
That all of us, and especially like, listen, me as like a white lady of privilege, that's why the abortion work and stuff that I did, I felt so strongly about because I'm like, okay, I'm in this position of privilege. What do I do with it? Okay. Like I got to point it to, the grassroots organizations that are led by women of color that are like doing work on the ground. And I have to like also use my own voice to other people that have privilege and power and money.
Money's the answer, maybe.
And get them to fucking care about it. But here's the deal. This is what I want to say. We should all fucking care about what has happened to women's health care, whether you're white and fucking privileged or whatever. Because what has happened is that men in positions of power and fucking insurance companies have decided, and hospitals, big hospitals, have decided how you give birth and what makes the most sense and the insurance that is needed to make sure that their asses are covered for any losses.
Right.
That's what they see it as. They don't see it as fucking people. They see it as fucking losses. And so how are they going to protect themselves? Okay, so here's what you get. Let's use a friend of mine who lives in Arizona as an example. When she got pregnant, she had to go, per her insurance, to this office for OBGYNs. And there were 8 to 10, I believe, OBGYNs on rotation. My friend never saw the same fucking doctor twice.
Right.
The day she went into labor, the doctor that walked into the room, she had never fucking met. Do you know what that does to a woman? Well, what it does is that they're not looking at you, A, as a fucking person that they know. So when they look at you, they're not like, hey, Shantira, normally, like, you're puffier this week than you were last week. Let's make sure that your sodium levels are correct. They don't know you, so they don't know what your body's doing. They have made women's health care affordable for them, for the men in charge who are paying the fucking bills at the expense of women and babies in this fucking country. And I've fucking had it. And until all of us are like, it's enough, we're not dealing with this shit anymore, it's going to continue. So I'm just saying to you, we all need to do that.
It's like a factory. If for anyone that has not given birth, I mean, like, as I remember it, I just had, I was well insured. I was lucky. I had a job and I had insurance through my union, but I had to be on the phone with the insurance company daily, just disputing something that my doctor said was necessary. And then they're like, no, that ultrasound wasn't necessary. And I'm like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Like karate chop my doctor when they try to give me an ultrasound that they're saying that I need? I mean, what do I do? And, same thing. Like, you go to the hospital. I was sent right from the doctor's office because I had that thing where I was rotating through doctors. And one doctor was like, it's getting very close to when you should have the baby. If you don't go into labor by next week, we should induce you. And I was like, okay. So I came for my next week appointment and I had another doctor in the practice because that's how they work it. And I was like, last week the doctor said I should be induced by this week if I didn't go into labor this week. And that doctor was like, no, I think it's okay. I think you can go one more week. And I was like, okay. So I went home and had another doctor the next week. And that doctor was like, you can go another week. And then I came back to my original doctor and they were like, why the fuck haven't you had this baby? I said like 3 weeks ago, so I went right to the hospital to have that baby. Like, I didn't even get to go home and get my bag. She sent me right to the hospital.
Okay. And thank God your baby didn't have issues, didn't die in your fucking womb, and you didn't die. And thereby the fucking grace of God did that all happen.
It was really serious because at that point the baby was so big that I had to have a C-section. They let me labor for like 18 hours before they were like, this isn't going to happen. This baby is way too big. So you're going to have a C-section. And there were serious issues. There were serious issues with me. I got an infection in the hospital. But then like cut to, even after the baby was born, I was still like calling and fighting with my insurance company. Like, yes, I had to have an emergency C-section. The anesthesiologist anesthesiologist wasn't in network because that's just who was on duty. So I didn't get to pick like who I wanted for an anesthesiologist. I just got who was there. And then they're like, yeah, that's not covered. And I was just like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm so heated about this after my lovely pap smear with this doctor today, who I paid for, by the way, out of pocket, and they'll
Sure.
submit to my insurance, but she's out of network. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
As most doctors, like most.
It's it's like usually like it's just, I'm not going to say karma, they do this, but like when you need a very specific doctor, that doctor is always out of network. I feel like
Yeah.
that's just the way they do it. And it's like the doctors that are super overworked and are rotating shifts are the ones that are in your network. And the person who could like, I always think about it like therapy, like my therapist is out of network. And I feel like every time you're like, this therapist is perfect for me, it's like, yeah, I think that's out of network. And I think that, like, without dragging anything specific, that is how they like it. If you need
Yeah.
help, it's out of
Well,
network.
okay, yes, except that in this particular case, Shantira, I want to just posit that, you know, and people have done this with abortion, people have done this with other things, that if men were the ones that went through
Mhm.
labor and delivery, if men were the ones that had organs that operated differently and like needed special care and attention, would we be, there's no way we would be having this discussion. There's
No.
just fucking no way. But these are decisions that have been made over the last 20 years by big insurance companies headed by rich fucking white dudes saying she doesn't need 6 ultrasounds during her pregnancy. A woman doesn't need 6 ultrasounds during her pregnancy. A woman needs whatever the fuck she fucking needs during her pregnancy.
Right.
You need something different than what I need. And a woman also needs the same one, or in some cases, 2 doctors as an OBGYN for their entire pregnancy into delivery. That's how you reduce the maternal mortality rate in this country. That's how it fucking goes down, is by these insurance companies letting it's truly like everybody is being held hostage by these old white men.
What do we do? Like, I don't know.
I
Do
don't
we
know.
vote? Do we call? Like, I don't know. what
Well,
to do.
yes. I think Elizabeth Warren, I think that there's legislation. I think that like there's the Women's Healthcare Protection Act basically just ensures abortion remains legal, but I don't know. We have to like literally the doctor and I were like having this conversation today in the office, and she's like, women have to rise up.
Yeah.
We have to rise up. We need doulas. Like, we have to return to the old way, guys. Like, we need doulas. We need women who can deliver babies and who like no midwifery. And it's this, like, that's what we need. We need more people to like get fucking in and be like, we're all taking responsibility for this, all of us. Maybe I'm going to become a midwife.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I'm just saying.
Erykah Badu is a doula.
That's right.
I was going to
She's a
say
doula.
Ricky Lake is as well. Have you ever watched her documentary? I think it's called The Business
No.
of Birth.
Duh. Of course I have.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
gave birth naturally twice,
But
even though
she's
it sucked.
Yeah, it's so amazing. When I was having children and calling insurance companies and fighting with insurance companies, at my particular insurance company at one time, I just thought to ask for the very kind woman's name and extension so that I could always reach the same person when I was calling.
Ooh,
And so we
smart.
developed a rapport. It's not always possible. It just happened to be possible in that case. And we were going through like a particularly frustrating thing where the insurance wasn't going to cover something that my doctor said was necessary. And I was like breaking down because you're like full of hormones and you don't know what the fuck you're going to do. And she just said, listen, like, it's our job to try to wear you down and to try to get you to give up. So just don't give up. Keep fighting it. You got to keep fighting
That
this.
is so fucked.
And like now, you know, you call any type of big corporation and they're telling you like this call is being recorded for customer service quality purposes or whatever. So, you know, you could never get away with probably doing the same thing. But that woman did say like, just keep fighting. Like, you know, that's what you have to do. We're doing this on purpose.
I'm just like concerned for the women in this country who are poor. I'm concerned for women in this country who are already like in communities that are struggling. And I don't know.
It's just like systemic. It's just the thing that I think about even when you're poor, like even if you're not poor, it's like very wealthy Black women die all the time because like 40% of med students think that our skin, like we don't feel pain.
Right.
You know?
Right. Oh, I read
Right.
that. I read that newest fucking article wherever it was.
Yeah, just straight up like people in medical school, and that wasn't the most recent study I read was 2016. I'm not talking 1900, baby. I'm not talking 1825. I'm talking about 2016. 40% of medical student residents think that Black women feel less pain.
Less pain.
Less pain.
It is systemic because I mean, look at what happened with Serena
Serena Williams. Yep.
We almost lost her because she had a medical condition that she's like familiar with her entire life and explaining to the hospital, like, look, I have this very life-threatening condition. And they were like, nah, you're all right.
So maybe I'm not even fucking around, guys. Maybe this is the answer. Maybe the answer is we really all do need to take birth back. We need to take women's reproductive health care back. And we need to go back to a system because this is all ruled by a patriarchal system, right? Like, and like, sure, we can do, because here's the thing that like I recently have realized, like we can do multiple things at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. So we can work on legislation. Obviously we need to. We can work on like the business of being born. We can work on the insurance and all that shit. But I think, and if any women out there are listening, I think we need to take back women's healthcare. And like, we need to start committing to becoming doulas and fucking, what's the word?
An
Advocates.
advocate.
But it's not-
Yeah.
Is it an advocate?
Yeah. Like a
that what it is?
healthcare advocate. Yeah.
Like a healthcare advocate, like a women's healthcare advocate. Like I want every like Black woman to have like a woman's healthcare advocate. You know what I mean? Like I want everyone to be able to have that.
Yeah.
So let's just do it because we're women. We can do that. We can organize that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's frustrating that this thing has to exist. Like sometimes I feel like, you know, when I'm talking to like a repair person that comes to my house and they're like, just like not willing to deal with me, and I get the gut feeling that it's because I'm a woman that they don't want to explain to me like how the plumbing works or whatever. And then my husband comes in and they're like, oh, sir, thank God you're here. Let me tell you. And I'm like, he doesn't know shit about plumbing more than I do. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And so like, it's so frustrating. On the one hand, it's a relief that he's there and it just fucking gets done. You know, but on the other hand, it's so frustrating that situation exists. And I feel like that's very similar to how, you know, like having someone come in and put their foot down for you when you're in a very vulnerable position and don't know what you should fight for and what you should be entitled to. It would be really helpful to have someone come in and be like, no, this is what you're doing for her. This is what we're not doing. You know, I mean, like, my Lamaze class had me fill out a whole birth plan of how I wanted my birth to go. And like the doctor might as well have like crumbled it up in my face and threw it away. You know what I mean? Like, they were like,
you know who instituted my birth plan? You know who like made sure my birth plan went
who?
the way I wanted it to? The Mark Silverstein. Guys, maybe you've met him.
Yeah.
He's the dude.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the one that made sure that everything that I wanted.
We're gonna need a lot of men to like barge in and then step aside. I think that's the thing too. That's what it is, because like I think that women, like, there's a lot of shit we want to do, but like we just I mean, they make it really hard for us, and it would be really easy for those insurance guys to be like, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore, and then that's just a wrap. So I don't
Right.
know. I don't know the answers, but I do think that like, because that's the hard thing is like women, like what are men doing? You ain't doing nothing. You go do it. If you know some men,
But it's
tell them to do
almost
it too. Like in addition to, you help.
Yeah.
In regards to like the crisis,
Yeah.
the maternal mortality crisis in this country, that I'm just like, and literally this is not what I wanted to talk about tonight at all, but I'm just like in this space because I just had my fucking cervix swabbed and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, is there an organization a la Central World Kitchen that I can help start and facilitate, in which volunteers like do training and they learn how to be doulas and women's healthcare advocates, so that like, and in like rural communities and small communities, there are people and like they come and get trained and then they go back to their communities and then they're like, oh, that's the lady that knows all the shit about this, like all the shit about pregnancy. And when you get pregnant, you go to her and she's like, okay, your insurance says you only get 3 ultrasounds. Like, I have this fetal heart rate monitor in my house. Like, I would like you to come here. You know, like I check in with you every week and I look at you and I make sure that like your eyes aren't puffy and your skin is the same color. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
how
I'm
do we
sure.
start that?
I'm sure
Shit.
that exists. Like
I don't know if it does, but I don't know if it does, Shantira.
Well-
I've done like a lot of work in this space. I don't know if that exists.
Well, then, yeah,
I mean, like
a
a
network.
big fucking network
Yeah.
organization
Yeah.
that is dedicated to the health and well-being of women's health.
Well,
women's
it should
reproductive
it
health.
should rightfully probably be like an outcropping from Planned Parenthood, but Planned Parenthood
exactly
is
right.
still fighting to fucking exist every year. Every year,
Right, that's
people
right.
try to chip away and kill Planned Parenthood. So
But that is what Planned Parenthood was supposed to
Yes.
be. That is
Yes.
what they were supposed to be. And
Yeah,
then
so-
fucking these motherfuckers,
Then the Catholic Church fucking ruined it.
Jerry Falwell. It's Jerry Falwell.
Jerry Falwell, and he got them to jump on board.
Yeah.
He got them because it's actually like the religious right.
Yeah, if evangelicals and like don't come for me Catholics, I really literally do not have the time.
By the way, Catholics are we're talking to a Catholic today.
Yeah.
I am Catholic. Catholics are the fucking worst. It's fine. You owe no Catholics an apology, ma'am.
Catholics have a lot of fish they need to fry right now. So hopefully they won't come at you for wanting better things for women's health.
I hope
Guys, you
not.
know it's bad when Barbara Phillips is like, I'm out of
Yeah.
Catholicism because it's too fucked.
Yeah.
It's too wild out here in these streets.
All right. Sorry I went on such a tangent, but I really did have such an amazing pap smear, and then it evolved into this conversation with this OBGYN who is like literally one of the last standing OBGYNs in the country who sees a singular patient from start to finish.
Yeah.
My lady has not, according to her, taken a vacation that has been like within 30 years.
Wow.
Because she's like not missed a due date of one of her
Wow.
patients ever.
She sounds great.
She's amazing. But what I did want to talk about is what we're all doing our best at this week. Caissie, what are you doing your best at?
Guys, it was not the best week. It
No.
was not
Aw.
the best week in my house. I'm just going to tell you, and I'm sorry to anyone who is harmed in the telling of this story, but we received a package at our house, and we get a lot of packages. I'm sure you get a lot of packages. DVDs and things that people send for because of the
DVDs?
podcast. And because of like
no one sends me shit because I don't describe where I live.
there you go. Yeah. The WGA sends packages all the time, packages all the time for just different things.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a package. I opened it up and I was like, oh, it's like some type of product. I don't know what it is.
I already
take
hate
it
this
out.
story.
It's a box of chocolates in the shape of vulvas.
Okay.
So I was like,
Caissie.
what is this? At first I thought it was buttholes because I don't look at my vulva all the time. So I was like, I thought it was butthole chocolates, but they were vulvas. And then I was like looking and I got the packing slip and it turns out that these vulva chocolates were from my beloved mother-in-law, Karen. And they were, I guess, a Valentine's Day gift.
Wait,
and
what?
so my mother-in-law just sent me like a box of vulva chocolates or like for the whole family. Maybe I think they were for me. And I was like, oh, weird a little. It's a little weird to
Did
get
she know?
I think so because then I sent her an email saying thank you for this very surprising chocolates and she was like, oh, I saw that they were like made by this feminist chocolate company and I knew I had to get them for you and I was like, oh, that's sweet. Okay, so it's like a little less weird, it's a little less weird. They're dark chocolate. My mother-in-law really loves dark chocolate, so they were dark chocolate.
I'm with her.
Yeah. And my husband was like doing work. He was working on our bathroom, trying to spruce our bathroom up still. It's very ongoing for several months. And so he came in and I'd opened the package in our room and he sat down and he was like, what are these? And I was like, well, I guess your mom sent me like vulva chocolates. And he was like, okay, all right. Are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's sweet. It was like a sweet thing. And so he was like, well, I'm going to eat some of the vulva chocolates. So he ate 2 of the vulva chocolates. And then he was like, I don't love them that much because I'm like not that into dark chocolate. And these are like, they're kind of salty. They have like salt in them. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense that vulva chocolates would be salty. So I ate a couple of them and I was like, yeah, they're fine.
I'm having a bad feeling about this.
They're
having
fine.
a bad feeling.
They're
I'm
fine.
very stressed.
So then this was on the bed, and so we just left the chocolates there and they were these like little red paper cups.
No.
And then Matt went to go work on the bathroom and I went outside to do some work and like, everybody was just in and out. And then Lincoln came outside and he was like, did you guys eat like an entire box of chocolates on your bed?
Oh, no.
And I was like, no.
The dogs.
And
The dogs.
The dogs got through the baby gate, went to the end of the hall, ate an entire box of vulva chocolate.
Of vulva chocolate.
Dark
Shit,
chocolate, the
Caissie.
worst possible type of chocolate.
Shit.
And so we gave them, it's not the first time the dogs have tried to poison themselves. They have a history. And this was like our mistake. Somebody left the gate open. So we tried to give them peroxide that you can sometimes give your dog peroxide to make them vomit something.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You can like it goes according to weight. So we quickly looked up like how much peroxide should we give them and gave them peroxide and they were running around and like foaming at the mouth, but they weren't barfing. And so I was like, this seems like a toxic amount of chocolate. So like,
we gotta go to the vet.
Yeah. So we started calling. This was on Super Bowl night. So
that means that means the vets are empty.
Yeah. No. The Super Bowl night was either the vets were closed. We called one. They said it was a 5 to 6 hour wait. We'll be like, those dogs will be dead by then. Yeah. Yeah. So then we finally called one vet and they were like, oh, we're like, no problem. You can come in right away. It's no issue. So
are you eating chocolate, Busy? We can hear it.
You guys, I had to get some chocolate. It's so good.
Okay.
So, okay, so we went to this one place and they, of course, only let one person in with the dog. So my husband went in, but I'm like, of course, wanting to text him and like be like, tell him that they ate like 16 pieces and tell him that each piece weighed 10 grams and blah. And also, like, I sent him in with the label from the back of the chocolates. I grabbed it out of the trash as we were on the way out the door. But then I was trying to rip all the parts that said vulva off of it because I didn't want like the vet to see that our dogs, like, it's bad enough that we let our dogs eat chocolate, but like vulva chocolates is worse. So I sent him in with that, and then he came out and he was like, they're gonna give them like an emetic to make them throw up, and it has morphine in it, so they're, so they'll be like relaxed or whatever. But so we just had to live through that like 2 hours of hell.
One thing I do have to say about your dogs is that they've never been relaxed.
Yeah, they've never been relaxed. So so they were like, it'll be like 3 or 4 hours. But then after an hour, they were like, oh, they both vomited up a ton of chocolate. So you can come and get them. They're going to be like high AF, which they were. And they had all black around their mouths because they'd given them activated charcoal. They showed Matt a picture of both their vomit on an iPad to like prove that they'd both vomited up a substantial amount of chocolate. And then they just were like out cold for 24 hours and, have like kind of a bad hangover now. I feel like a bad morphine hangover, but they're fine. But it wasn't great.
Wow.
It wasn't great. And I'm like,
God.
I didn't even ask how much it cost, to be honest, because I can't even know how much.
Thousands of dollars, babe.
Yeah.
Do dogs just do they love chocolate, or they'll eat their own vomit, but they're like,
yeah,
because I know like onions are like poison to dogs, and if you like
onions,
if you put an onion in front of, don't fucking do this, you guys, but like if you put an onion in front of a dog, they'll be like, no, thank you, but like because it's so poison, but like chocolate, they fuck it up. So like why?
I don't know. Yeah, my dogs will mostly eat anything. I know that chocolate, onions, and grapes are supposed to be particularly toxic to dogs, and then a bunch of other plants.
Shantira smell gross.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, that's true.
if I were a dog, I mean, chocolate tastes delicious.
yeah.
Apparently, so does antifreeze. You have to be careful with that.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that
Because
too.
dogs think antifreeze tastes good.
Yeah, apparently it tastes
very
really good
sweet.
to dogs.
Yeah, it's really sweet. Yeah. I think.
Wow.
But anyway,
Why don't they flavor it gross?
Well, I think it's gross for people.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I've never tried it.
I just feel like, I'm not even joking you, my dogs vomit every day. Every time we don't want them to, for free, they vomit everything. And so the one time we wanted them to vomit, it was not happening, and we had to pay Lord knows how much to get them to vomit. So that's just what.
I'm really sorry.
That's been the arc of my week.
I'm sorry that they ate out those chocolate vulvas. It's like so much worse than Gina destroying my underwear, but also similarly disgusting.
Dogs love crotches in any form, apparently.
Why? They love crotch juice.
They love a human crotch. They love each other's crotches. These two are sisters, so that's particularly weird.
It's so upsetting. If I leave like underwear out, if I left underwear out, because I'm a little bit like a crotch up at the end of the night, like coming home from work late, crotch up, pants up on the bathroom floor.
Yeah.
Kind of undresser.
Yeah.
That's my vibe. Guys, that's my vibe. I'm sorry. That is my vibe.
Yeah.
And Gina takes those fucking underwear and I'm like, I am your mother. I am your mother. What are you doing? And she
Oh my God.
fucking eats the cotton part out of my lace thong. And I'm just like, that is so disgusting.
Yeah, that happened to a friend of ours. I don't want to rat her out, but she was consoling me, texting me, someone who's been on the podcast. How's that for a mysterious item?
Oh, Seema, Dr. Seema.
She was texting me that her dog ate her thong one time and it was serious business.
This is very funny to me that they just like love crotches. Also, I think like I think titties is funny, but I think today I think crotch is really taking titty for a run. Crotch is very funny. Just like it's really doing it. Coming in second.
Listen, my crotch has gotten a lot of play today.
So far, that's
Both
been
with the
theme.
speculum.
Yeah. In the dog. What?
So
Okay,
wild.
wait. I want to know what Shantira is doing her best at.
I'm doing my best at
Any crotch stuff?
not any crotch. Well, my crotch hurts from Peloton, but eventually I think it'll be okay.
I'm proud of you on your Peloton journey.
Thanks. And like I'm not like a real Peloton bitch. I just like don't want to run outside. That's like not my vibe.
Right.
I need to be in the crib. I think that I'm doing my best at taxes. I have to when you are not a person who has one job all year long, like
Right.
if you're like gig economy, I have like 8 fucking W-2s and I have to like scan them and put them into the internet. And because the fucking TurboTax, whatever, they lobby to make taxes hard. I have a tax person, but I still have to like wait for everybody to send me stuff. So like right before this, I like scanned like 3 documents. My document for my health insurance is a separate IRS thing. So I'm really doing my best at like by the end of this week, I will have scanned all of my sweet W-2 gigs into my computer. Also, shout out to the Notes app on the iPhone. I don't know about if you're like a Android person. I know that like they probably been scanning documents since like 1998. I don't fucking know. I don't have
Is
an
that
Android. I don't know. They probably, because anytime somebody's like, my iPhone does this, an Android person will be like, we've had that for 4 years. I was like, I don't know what you got. I'm just telling you what I know is that you can scan documents using your iPhone, and it's been like very helpful today.
Oh,
so
great.
I'm doing my best at doing my taxes, even though I don't believe I should give the government any money for what they did to us last year. Anarchy.
True.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
Anarchy.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Well,
That's good.
I think that's wonderful. Taxes are important.
Thank you.
When is tax day? April?
15th.
Sure.
Yeah.
April 15th, yeah. Or like whenever, because last year they were like, yeah, you ain't got to do it. And I think it might be like that this year too.
I mean,
Wait, we didn't have to do our
Might
taxes
have to
last
move
year?
it got like
they got moved
yeah,
to like
it had-
July. They were like, we going to have to.
Guys,
there was a
July was
grace
the last time I
period,
saw.
a rare
Yeah.
governmental grace period.
Yeah.
right. They should just eliminate taxes for the years 2020 and 2021.
Well,
just
also,
FYI.
like other countries, like because the government knows how much money we owe them. They could just do it, but they
could do it for us.
They could do it for us, or they could be like, you owe this much money, but they hate poor people, so they end up getting, because poor people, I know, I'm like, fuck the government all the time, but because poor people are so scared of being audited, they always overpay, and that's what the government uses
Right.
to give to rich people. So that's just a wrap. So, but
I
other
hate that.
countries, the government, like, they just tell you how much you owe, and then you just fucking do it. So America,
It's pretty
you didn't know that.
straightforward.
It's really not that hard.
I don't love it.
Same.
I am doing my best at, well, a couple things. Number one, I went on that rant early on. I really think we're onto something though, guys. I really think, here's what I think. Like a little bit like, I don't know about you guys, but when Amy Coney Barrett was
Boo.
nominated to the Supreme Court, I had a bunch of different text chains of women that were like, let's all get plan B.
Mhm.
Let's keep it. It's good for 5 years. Let's like find out what we need to know. Let's like stockpile it where we can afford it. Like these ladies on my text chains, we can afford it. Let's stockpile it. And we'll have to start like some sort of network of like people that have it, and we can like distribute it. We can get it out when people need it, like when teens and poor, women who need it, whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm proposing vis-a-vis my pap smear appointment today is something similar to like everyone who's listening right now. Like, we need to really genuinely think about like what contribution can you make to like the health of women in your community. And like, let's really fucking think about it. I'm really going to think about it. My friend, actually Johnny, like maybe you guys know Johnny very well, Johnny Rice, and you know his girlfriend is many things, but one thing that she is a doula. She's like a trained doula. She can like assist people giving birth. And I'm like, maybe like a lot of us out there should learn how to assist in giving birth. And like, we should learn all that shit. That's
we should all learn a lot of things. We should, you know, we should.
I know, but I'm just saying, as women,
we should know CPR.
I'm saying we gotta look out.
Yeah, no, we should all know CPR. We should.
Oh, I was gonna say I did, but it's you guys. It's staying alive. It's staying alive.
Yes,
staying alive. So you pump, breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe.
The Brits.
So guys, now you know it.
And there's also a very fun commercial that the Brits made, using that to help people learn how to do CPR. They have fun with their medical stuff because I don't know for how long, but they were doing universal health care. So they were like, you know what? Everybody learn how to save a life because we care about people.
I had a friend who's had an experience with this is so fucking dark, but like a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, whatever, kid who had an overdose of a narcotic, of like an oxycodone narcotic. And you know, there's that like nose spray stuff.
Narcan.
Narcan, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my friend was like, hey, guess what? Your kids are a little bit young, but here's what I'm going to say to you. After this story that we heard through friends of friends of friends of friends of friends, whatever. Maybe we all get Narcan, two doses of Narcan in our homes, and we tell our soon teenagers when they whatever, hey, by the way, we have this thing, and if I am betting that this is never going to be an issue, but I just want you to know that if it ever is an issue, this is the thing that we have, and you come fucking to me immediately and we will fix this situation. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the summer that we were filming I Feel Pretty in Boston, they were having a really brutal time with people having overdoses, like homeless or unhoused residents having, on the street overdoses.
Yeah.
And there were billboards all over town saying, like, got a Narcan prescription? Get one. Like, you don't have to have an addiction to carry Narcan with you. Like, if you see someone in trouble, use Narcan. Like, it was all over the city. That was the first time I'd ever seen it. That was years ago, probably 3 years ago. And when my friend brought it up to me, I was like, yeah, I mean, Bird is a bit young for this in this moment right now, but it was something to think about. And maybe there are like parents of teens listening. I don't know, guys. I don't fucking know.
Well, you think that Bird is young, but I mean, we're just hearing about poor Dr. Laura Berman. Her son was 15 and he got drugs delivered to their house from someone that he connected with over Snapchat, and he's gone. 15.
Wait, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, just happened like yesterday.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think that it's not even, I mean, like, there are kids, this is a trigger warning for anyone who wants to take a break, but like, there are kids who are like killing themselves when they are 7, 6. It's getting younger because they have more information about how to do it, and the internet is great for a lot of information, but not always great for other information. I also think that this kind of comes down to like the decriminalization of narcotics, or like, obviously the opiates is just like, that's a whole big old $1 billion lawsuit for what they did, but like heroin and crack and a lot of I think it's Peru that has decriminalized all drugs, and like it they treat it as an illness, not as a like a crime. And then
Right.
it is like addiction. It's like
Right.
they're sick and they need
Right.
medical help. And I think that as soon as we get into that mindset, like there shouldn't be billboards for Narcan or whatever in Boston. They should be helping people. And I hope that that's
Right.
where we move the legislation. It also empties prisons and changes lives. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't want to go get help if you're going to fucking go to jail.
Right. It's interesting. There are towns that sort of experimentally, the law enforcement is, that's their philosophy. Experimentally are treating drug addiction and drug offenses as an illness, rather than a crime. And they're having like a great deal of success as far as I know. So it seems like we're like facing a chain of problems. First, we have to stop treating addiction like it's a crime and treating it like it's an illness. And then we have to make it so that people can get their illnesses treated. And then maybe we'll be like on track for being in a little bit better shape.
Well, on that note, this is the other thing I wanted to bring up, which is that I will finish it tonight, but I've only watched the first 10 minutes of Framing Britney Spears.
I haven't finished.
Have you guys watched?
I haven't. I need to be in a place where, like, if I'm gonna be as mad as everybody else is, I need to have a day off.
I need to be ready for it. Yeah.
Because I already know how sad it was, and then I'm getting snippets of it. People being like, "I can't believe this." Also, like, I know that, like, I really like Britney Spears. I think she's great. She's really great. I mean, a fucking blackout, baby. Fantastic. But I think that I need to be in a place to, like, watch a whole movie about, like, the destruction of someone who's, like, very influential, not just in pop culture, but, like, in our everybody. I know the moment. I know exactly where I was when I saw the video for Hit Me Baby One More Time. I like that's how, and I'm not even like a super Britney stan. Like, I remember being in like a finish line in the mall. I think it was like summertime, and we were like school shopping. And I remember, like, back in the day, they used to play music videos in all those shoe stores. And I remember hearing that song and being like, this sounds good. And there was no Shazam. So I was like, I have to watch this whole video till the end to find out who this girl is singing this song.
Right.
And I remember, like, looking up and being like, damn, this white girl is singing a good song. And then I remember it ended, and I literally went, Britney Spears, and then walked out of finish line. So, like, she's so culturally important to so many people, and I hope that people realize, like, how, if you could be this fucked up to Britney Spears, imagine what, like, 15-year-old girls who are in a high school who do not, like, have what she had, and they still fucked her over. So, like, I'll watch it this weekend when I, like, take, like, 2 edibles, and it's a vibe.
I mean, it is. Here's what I think. I think that, like, I think thematically everything that we always talk about runs along the same lines. Someone says something in the first 3 minutes of the show, which is, if this were a man, I can't imagine that we would even be having this discussion, which is like, where's Shia LaBeouf's conservatorship, guys?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, where's Joaquin Phoenix's conservatorship? Like,
right.
What are we fucking doing here? Why are we allowing this man to control this woman who's like
she's Rapunzel?
Like she's fucking Rapunzel, dude. But also, I truth be told, in years past, I do feel like I haven't had a full, like, grasp or understanding of, like, what the Free Britney movement was about. And, like, I think I was a little bit dismissive of it, just in terms of, like, well, guys, whatever. Like, no one knows the full fucking stories about anything. You know what I mean? And so, like, anything that's, like, generated, that's seemingly, like, fan-based generated movement, I'm a little bit skeptical of, because I'm like, I trust that the powers that be are like acting in the best interests because I'm like trained that way because I'm trained that way. And then to really like dig into it, you're like, oh shit. No, but really think about like, why is Shia LaBeouf not under conservatorship? Like, where's that? And like, and by the way, guys, again, I haven't even finished the fucking thing yet.
Right. 10 minutes.
10 well, I'm like 10 minutes in, and then I had to eat pizza. You know?
Yeah, of course. I'm saying I have to be emotionally prepared to watch it. Just looking on social media where people are bringing up these old clips where she's like 16 years old,
being
17 years
sexualized.
old
Yeah.
on German television, and they're asking her if she has breast implants. And, you
Okay,
know,
here's what grossed me out the most. In the show, they have like one of the first clips of her on Star Search, and Ed McMahon. Shantira, do you even know who Ed McMahon is?
I watched Star Search.
All right.
Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon,
Star Search, and then the clearance, the clearance house,
Publishers House Clearance. But he was, he was Johnny Carson's next
sidekick.
seat filler. Sidekick. Like next seat filler.
He was,
guys, I just called him the next seat filler.
Well,
Sidekick.
Yeah, like kind of an icon in American pop culture of days of yore.
An old white dude with like white hair.
Yeah.
She is somewhere between Cricket and Birdie's age when Brittany is on Star Search. And he says, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And she says, "No." And he said, "Why not?" And she goes, "'Cause they're mean." And he goes, this is Ed McMahon, 70-year-old man, to 9-year-old Britney Spears. "What about me? I'm a nice guy."
Oh.
What about me? I'm a nice guy. And this child who's like, I want to please. I want to succeed. I don't want my parents to be upset. I want everybody to like me. I want to do the right thing. Says, and I guess that depends. And everyone laughs.
Yeah.
And like, that was oh shit. That was the moment where I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
She never had a
You
chance, man. She never had a goddamn chance.
She never had a fucking chance.
No. She would barely have a chance right now. We're bad.
Right.
We're bad. We're still bad.
Right.
So like, it's like now we're just like just good enough to be like, dang, 5 years ago we were bad. Like,
right.
we're still
You're right.
pieces of
Where's
shit.
the lie?
Where's the
Like,
lie?
I don't see the lie, Shantira.
Yeah, we're still bad.
It's very, very shocking to just look back at things that, like, at the time,
The countdowns. Whew.
Yeah, just the countdowns till the Olsen twins were 18 and countdown till Britney was 18 and just all of these things that we just sort of were like, yeah, I guess that's normal. You know, like, I guess it's been a real, it's kind of made me sick like all week. I haven't even looked at the documentary yet. I will, because I feel like a responsibility as someone that's worked in entertainment and that, you know, young Britney was on shows that I worked on as a guest. And I, you know, I hope we did right by her, like wherever I worked. Like, I can't even remember the particular performances. So, you know, it's just my hope that everybody did right by her in places where I was, but just in general, like, it's just been making me revisit so many things that kind of turn my stomach, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's deeply disturbing. And then to see where she is now. She's not, I mean, she's just a couple years younger than me, right? I don't know. I got so sad and I was like, what are we going to do? So like,
be better. I mean, that's the thing too. Cause I mean, there's a lot of things that we can't do immediately, but like the immediacy of like understanding that we can't let the public eye or just like people in our lives sexualize young children, young girls that way. I think that we're so, I mean, we have to because like men are dangerous, but we're so like, that man said a weird thing. Don't make your daughters hug people they don't want to hug. Like there's so much
guys, don't make them sit on fucking Santa's lap.
Yeah,
not
there's so
COVID vibes. Like we're not.
There's
but.
so much sexualization of young girls that we are just like, well, that's just the way it is, and just being like, no, we're not doing that. Stop asking babies if they have boyfriends. Stop, just like
Stop saying about the boy babies. Wow, he's flirting.
Yeah.
He's really flirting.
Yeah,
Right.
he's gonna be a
Yeah.
lady killer. And then like really honing in that if like someone is mean to you, that does not mean they like you. That means they're being mean to you. If they like you, they'll be nice to you. And I think it's really reprogramming all these things that we have been like programmed to believe are okay.
Yeah.
Or to like pass up, or to just like, a lot of it is just about women, young girls not having autonomy of their own bodies and letting whatever comes from the outside, from usually men, adult grown ass men, and just being like, yeah, it's just
But
being
it's
like,
also women, Shantira, because like with Birdie specifically, like, and just for anyone listening at home, when I post pictures of my kid, and I see in the comments when you guys are like, like go after people who use the she, her pronoun, and they're like, Birdie prefers they, them, blah, 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 blah. Birdie and I have talked about this very thing. And we both, but Birdie specifically, because it's their life, cares less about that than the fact that like people comment on their appearance.
Yeah.
And like talk about how aesthetically pleasing they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Birdie would rather you call her she and say something like she's got a cool fashion sense than like look at their beautiful face. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah, because they're also they're a child.
Because Birdie says and I say, but like we all fucking say, but people don't get it. They're a fucking child. Like this kid is not yet.
They're
13.
They're a kid. They're kids. They're
a
kids.
kid, and it's weird to sexualize them.
Well, also like 18 is a fucking kid. I know that you
Right.
can vote and you can buy and you can join the goddamn army and all that kind of shit. Have you been to a high school? Have you truly looked at a 17-year-old or an 8-year-old? They're fucking babies, my dude. They look like
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Every once in a while,
Shantira, that's why I cried when those people at Access Hollywood played that video of me when I was 19 doing an interview, because I was like literally floored at what a child I was. Like I didn't remember
well, you
that
think
I
you're old.
was. Yeah, I thought I thought I was grown.
I mean,
I
like,
thought I was grown.
I think about like when I was like 16 and I would like get in the car with my friends and we like go to McDonald's and I'd be like, wow, we're grown-ups. And then I like see pictures of us. Like if you really go look at like a picture of you when you're 16, you were like, I was just a baby walking around being a baby. Like,
Yeah. Right. And then just also as far as like commenting on the way a child looks, or like even commenting kind of anything to a child, think back to when you were a child. Did you ever like that? No child wants anyone talking about anything that they look like or anything
my
that
God.
they are or anything. Like we all uniformly, to every last person listening to this podcast, hated that when we were children. If anyone loved as a child an adult commenting on what you looked like or who an adult thought you were or what you were good at or what you should do with your life, please tell me, because I would love to meet you, because I guarantee that it's nobody.
The only thing I ever liked, TBH, was when adults would say to me after plays that I was in, "You're going to be a big star someday." I did fucking love that, Caissie. I did. I have to admit it.
But I will
fucking
say
loved
that
it.
I'll say this about that. You were in a play for a reason because you were trying to put something out there. So, okay.
Because I wanted people to come up to me and be like, you're going to be a big
You're
star
going to be a big
someday.
star.
Yeah.
So if a child is singing and you want to comment on their singing and you want to say something nice about their singing or the way that they play baseball or anything. But if a child is just standing there minding their own goddamn business, you mind your own goddamn business. Or like ask them a question about what they care about maybe and just have a normal conversation with them. You know,
But people are good. The argument would be like, well, your mom puts you on her Instagram and like that's like fair game. And
Yeah.
I would argue personally, just because it's me and I'm allowed to, that while like Birdie has consent over the pictures that I post and like the captions that I put with it, Birdie is still a kid.
Yeah.
And lots of people, famous or not, post their children on all forms of social media, and that we all as adults need to have an agreement, unspoken, maybe I'm speaking it right here, that we're going to put forth toward our peers' children things that we would like to like hopefully shift in the culture collectively. So like, I'm not going to comment about your kid that your kid is so fucking beautiful. And
Right.
like, please stop commenting about how beautiful my kid is. And instead, please, let's find something else to talk
Yeah.
about.
Does
that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. For me, it goes back to my rule about like commenting on someone's weight, like on an adult's weight. It is nice to see people's children. And that's all I really need to ever communicate is like, oh, it's nice to see your kid. They're getting tall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
like,
by the way, I love seeing people's kids.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
I love
cool.
it.
right.
And that's why I still share mine, even though like sometimes I'm like, is this the right fucking move? Am I fucking this all up? I don't know, because this is all a goddamn experiment, by
Yeah.
the way.
yeah, we've never
Maybe
been.
I am.
We've never been here before.
Never been here.
There's nothing to
No.
compare it to.
And who's to say that me, like how I choose to do it is any better than the fucking kind of semi-famous parents that like put an emoji over their kids' fucking faces. You know what I mean?
Right.
Who fucking knows? Maybe those kids will be in therapy when they're 26 and they'll be like, my mom was never proud of me. She put an emoji over my fucking face. Like, I don't know. You don't fucking know. It's never happened.
I'm just trying to see some babies. And like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be weird. I love those little Asian babies. I love those little black babies. I love your little smushed up white babies. White babies look weird, but I love them. Shout out to all these babies. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm just trying to see a baby, and I'm not gonna say your baby's hot. I'm just gonna be like, whoa, look at that baby, and I'm gonna say it to myself. I'm not even gonna type it. So I think that there's this thing where it's just like, be chill, everybody. I think that's the thing too. You ain't gotta comment. Take it to the group chat. Comment out loud in your house, and then keep scrolling. And I think
Say it to yourself.
Say it to yourself.
No one has ever been like, oh my God, look at Gina's lips about my dog. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, can I tell you
But
guys
so
something?
many-
Can I
Yeah.
confess something to you?
Yeah.
When people do post photos of their kids, I do always just pick one kid that I will always like just that one kid's photos. Is that weird? Like talking about how it's all a social experiment. I don't know why I do it. I just pick a kid that I feel like needs to be the kid. If somebody has multiple children, like if somebody has,
I know this about you. I've known this about you for years. And I do think it's weird.
I think that is like, I think it's funny. I wonder what it is subconsciously that you're like, this kid needs my support, and then I'm gonna double tap this one.
yes, that I feel like that's what it is. Like I just pick one and go with it because I'm like the kids never
Well,
know.
Caissie, which one of yours?
Which one of mine? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that Lincoln is here, so he gets photographed more often, and Eli's not really on any social media, so he doesn't care. So Lincoln's just the one that gets pictures posted of him, but I do post pictures of Eli. Yeah, it's not the same
Yeah,
for my
you do.
own kids. Well, once in a while when he's here.
I know, but what if I was like, I only like the pictures of Eli?
It would make me laugh so hard.
Wait, which one
Because-
of my kids? I know which one it is. But you say it. Should we say it at the same time?
No. Don't say it.
Shantira's like,
Don't.
don't do it. Don't do
Don't
it.
do
Well,
that to kids we know. This is hypothetical.
I
Yes.
think it's I know. You do it with my kids, right?
I love both of your kids, but I talk to one of your kids more because one's like a preteen and doing their thing, and then the littler one hangs out and will talk to you because she's little, you know? So I feel like in a social situation at your house, that Cricket is like my social peer, and Birdie is like off doing something.
So you only like
preteenish.
pictures of Cricket.
No, I like pictures of both of your kids. I know your kids. That's the thing.
You guys can do the research.
You guys can do the research.
on your own.
I
You
know.
know
I'm not gonna
somebody
do
is
it.
finna go do this right now. Come on, don't waste your Saturday.
I
Whoever's
know
thinking
both
about
of
doing
your
it, don't
kids.
waste your Saturday.
Okay.
I know both of your kids, so I feel like it's not like they're almost my kids, but it's like I know and chat with your kids. I see
it's
them.
more fun when you don't really know them. It's like the
Yeah,
people
it's
you
like
went to
when
high
you
school or
when you
college
have
with,
like a high school friend and they have 5 kids and you're like, I don't know, I just feel like that kid like spiritually like can use the
Okay.
like I appreciate their
Okay.
accomplishments. It's always the nerdier kid. It's always the kid who like doesn't do sports and like who won a Latin award or whatever. That's the one that I always go for. I mean, I know, I'm just trying to even up the universal score.
Guys, I love all of your children.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna do a 180. I do not love all of your children. I don't love all your
Shantira.
fucking kids. Just
All
to
right,
make
Once
it
they're no
spicy.
longer a baby, yeah. Once they're
Yeah,
out of
fuck
babyhood,
that.
Shantira is like,
Listen,
You're
I
gonna
got a
get-
plan.
you're
I'm
gonna
trying to be a
drop
fun
some of
black
them.
aunt. Yeah. I'm just trying to live that baby life. And then we talk about it in the interview that's coming up. But I only buy babies. I buy babies baby Jordans because I think it's funny. That's my lifestyle. If you can't wear a Jordan that will fit on my pinky finger, then I don't care.
No one. I'm so sad that we weren't friends for either of my children being babies. Oh my God, but Shantira, Eric's about to have a baby. That baby could really use some Air Jordans.
I fucking love babies and Jordans. I think it's so stupid and fun. I'm gonna definitely
It
buy him
is.
some Jordans.
It is so stupid and fun. There is a part of me that's like, do I have another child just so Shantira will buy said child
No,
Air Jordans?
because that's
Yeah.
just a bit. It's only for
No,
babies.
it's just a
because
bit.
It's just a bit. But also,
it's a
I
long.
like it because
Mm-hmm.
It's a big responsibility just to get one pair of baby Jordans.
It's a long
And
con,
here's the thing.
is what you wanted to say.
I really do like. I like to give baby Jordans too because then you tie the little strings together and then they're like a fun little ornament for the first pair of Jordans you've ever had. So I
did
love that.
have. Did you have any of your kids' baby shoes bronzed or anything?
I had
I
a bronze
didn't have. Oh, I never had that, but I do have my older son Eli. We always loved Puma Clyde's, the suede Puma sneakers, and so
Ooh,
I have
really
his
good.
first pair of little baby Pumas. But what's kind of weird is that is still like his shoe to this day. So now that he wears size 13 Pumas, and so he always will like take a picture of his little baby Puma next to his size 13 Puma and be like,
That's
"Do you
so
think Puma
cute.
would like?" Want to make a commercial with me, a lifelong Puma wearer?
That's really cute.
I love
It is
that.
cute.
I like that too.
We got bronze.
The only pair of shoes I have a pair of shoes from Birdie that were like these. They're these little red Mary Janes, and I didn't get them bronzed, because I didn't know how to do that. But I do feel like if I looked it up on Etsy, I bet I could figure it out at this moment.
Nowadays, but probably when Bird
Right.
was born, it was like an
No.
old-fashioned thing.
Guys, we're Yeah, this is, well, I guess this was like 11 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Because Birdie's almost 13.
It's still hard. I mean, Twitter was just popping off. It's hard to. It's like now we're like, I can find anything if I type it in, but like
Yeah.
the internet wasn't really fucking like that.
It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that, guys. It's moved so fast.
When it was a thing that people did, it was like a thing you got done through like Sears Portrait Studio. I don't know. Somebody correct me.
Sure.
And that
Yes,
wasn't
yes.
that wasn't around 11, 12
No.
years ago.
That's right. It was in between Sears Portrait Studio and before like the advent of Etsy.
Yeah. So,
Anyway, I kept the shoes. I kept the baby shoes. And they sat in our old bookshelf in our old house. And I loved looking at them. They were like these little red Mary Janes, and they were really sweet.
They're so small,
Aw.
and that's why it's so
And they
funny.
were so tiny.
That's why it's so
Birdie
funny.
came in.
Because they can't walk. It don't make no sense. They don't need no
It
shoes.
doesn't make any sense.
They don't need no shoes.
Well, Birdie could walk. Birdie
Oh.
could walk. Birdie was, when Birdie wore those shoes, they were like 15 months old, and they looked like Justin Bieber. You guys know that Birdie looked like Justin Bieber when they were a baby, right?
I can see it. I can see it.
No. Like, the irony of the world is that Birdie, as a baby, looked like Justin Bieber, and as a young child, looks like Selena Gomez. It is truly wild.
Let me ask you something. Were you scared by Justin Bieber when you were pregnant?
I don't think I knew who Justin Bieber was.
Because sometimes I think that, don't they say that? Like if you're scared by something while you're pregnant, your baby comes out to look like that thing
that true?
scared you. I don't know. I think
Oh,
so.
I don't know. I know that like I was shocked by Birdie's crop of hair.
Yes.
And I had really bad heartburn, and that was an old wives'
Oh yeah, that
tale.
makes them hairy.
The
Yeah.
hairiness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had really bad heartburn, and everybody was like, "You're gonna have a really hairy baby," and I was like, "Go fuck yourselves." And then Birdie came out and was very hairy,
Oh my God.
and had this swoop, this like, you remember?
Yeah, the bangs.
old baby Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the side swoop. And that was Birdie's hair. Birdie has like this really incredible cowlick, like in the front, you know?
Yeah.
And it sort of swoops their hair down like in that exact direction of Justin Bieber. And so when Birdie was like a year and a half, I was like, oh, it's my Justin Bieber baby. Like,
Yeah.
it looks like Birdie looks exactly like Justin Bieber.
That's hilarious.
Then Birdie started to look exactly like Selena Gomez. I don't know what it means.
I can see both things. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it makes sense because does Selena Gomez not sort of resemble Justin Bieber in a way? And does
Maybe that's
that
why they were
mean-
attracted to each other.
I was going to say sometimes we're attracted to people that look like us because we like how we
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
Sometimes Birdie has showed me girls that they thought were cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been like, Birdie, that girl just looks like you. Like, come on. You just want to make out with yourself. What's that? You know what I mean?
I think often we either like someone that looks like us or someone that acts the opposite of us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
yeah.
I don't know. I think in like heteronormative couples, a lot of times that Freudian thing of like you pick people that look like you're like, if you're a woman, like your dad.
Yeah.
Or like has traits of your dad, or if you're a man, like your mom, and like traits like your mom. And I don't know, like maybe I don't know. I just don't know.
It's interesting.
Well, my dad's tall, but I think that everybody wants that. That's the thing. People are.
Are you
like,
attracted to partners that remind you of either parent?
I think like looks wise, no. Like, I mean, my dad is. I do like him tall and lean. So like, give me a basketball body.
That's your dad, right?
That's my dad. Yeah, I like him tall and lean. But like, also, that's like just being like, I like hot people. Like that is not a type. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
It's like-
it is.
It's like,
it is.
It's
Do you
like,
know what?
I love a professional basketball player's arms. It's like, I'm not fucking special. Like they look good.
Shantira, some people are into short dudes.
I know.
Or
but
short ladies.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
You can be into that, but like, I think object attractiveness. There's like Brad Pitt's face is good. It's like
Yeah.
if you're like, I'm attracted to Brad Pitt, you're not a special bitch. He has the Fibonacci fucking face. You know what I mean? So like, I do like. It's like me.
I don't
being
know.
like-
I'm not attracted to Brad Pitt.
You don't have to be attracted to him, but you can. He is attractive. Objectively,
Sure.
he is
Fine.
attractive. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm
Okay.
not trying to date him, but it's just like me being like, oh, what do I find attractive? I find a 6'4" basketball playing man attractive. That's not a thing. That's some Neanderthal fucking bullshit. That's not.
That's just
special.
normal. That's just biology.
That's just
That's
biology.
hormones.
You know what I mean? But if I'm just like,
Yeah.
they gotta be ginger, then that's just like some aesthetic shit.
I like when you are surprise attracted to someone and it makes you mad because you just can't figure out why it's happening.
Oh my
And you're
gosh,
just
do you
like-
want to know who I was surprise attracted to? I fucking loved him, but now I like don't. Do you remember that show Man vs. Food? I fucking loved him. I loved him. I really did. I was like, I don't know what it is. I just really love this dude. He was just eating everything I loved, and he was having good time, eating all different kind of wings. And I was like, I would date him.
I'm
Man
looking
versus
him up
Food
right
Man, if you're listening.
No, I think he did something bad. I can't remember. But
Oh, no.
either way, I don't remember. Like, but I do remember when Man versus Food was like big. I was like, I don't know why I like this man so much. Would 100% kiss him.
Oh my
that's
That
god.
makes me
That's
laugh
fine.
so hard. I love when you're
Wait,
just looking at
original
someone
host
and you have
Adam
like a look on your
Richman?
face like, ew. And then you're like, oh my God.
Busy, you're on
I
mute.
think this
Wait.
person's hot.
You're on mute, Busy.
Is it original host Adam Richman?
Yes. That's who it was. He was
Okay.
he was just like a husky white boy.
He's a husky white man.
And you know I'm not trying to date no white man. But
No,
I
no,
just
no,
really, I was like, you know what? Would hold hands, would kiss. Am trying to eat a double ducker pork sandwich with him.
Wait, listen. Oh god.
I said I was mad about
Wait,
it.
when you look under Google, like, why did the original host leave?
He did something bad, right?
Wait, no, it's Man versus Food Star has show taken off the air after his quote thinspiration rant.
He did something bad.
he did. Hold on. He had his show postponed indefinitely after he sent abusive comments during an argument on Instagram.
Damn.
It began when he posted an Instagram photo with the caption, had ordered this suit from a Savile Row tailor over a year ago. Think I'm going to need to take it in a little, and added the hashtag thinspiration. One Instagram user criticized him for using the tag, saying it glorifies negative media self-imagery, that being thin is better as opposed to any other body style. Okay, this is like wild because this feels so quaint. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like in terms of like controversy.
Yeah, he lost a bunch of weight. And I liked him husky, preferably. I liked him eating all them sandwiches. He lost a bunch of weight, and I was like, okay, good for you. But then, like, I can't remember. He did something bad, and I was like, damn.
Okay, no, it's not that bad though. He wrote, "Oh, eat a bag of shit."
I didn't.
Wow.
No apology is coming. If it inspires someone to attain a healthier, thinner body, then that was what it was meant to do. Only fuck up, it seems, was your dad's choice to go without a condom. Oh God,
Oh.
that's
It's really
mean.
bad. I'm telling you, it was
Wait,
bad.
it gets meaner. Grab a razor blade and draw a bath. I don't. Anyone will miss you. That's brutal.
That's brutal.
That's not nice.
But also presidential. Yeah. That's just what our last president would say on any day.
I know, that's what's so fucking crazy. This is 6 years ago, and I'm like, I mean, is that bad?
You guys, you asked me who I thought was attractive, and I was upset about it. As you can see, rightfully so.
Adam
But, like,
Rickman, if
in
you're
the
listening,
scheme
do
of things,
not
I'm just-
contact Shantira. She's no longer
No.
I'm just
interested.
gonna say, in the scheme of things, present day,
Yeah.
is that cancelable in this right now, today? Would that be cancelable?
I think that if it is on I think if he was like on NBC or ABC or something, he was on like the Travel Network.
the Travel Channel.
It's like
Yeah.
he picked the wrong network to fuck up with. They could just be like, we'll just play 45 episodes of Samantha Brown, and then that's just gonna be the end of it. So like he should have played his cards better because he's not doing anything else. That's why like I'm not saying shit. I'm not trying to lose no job for fucking Instagram. That's fucked up. He lost his job because of something that Mark Zuckerberg owns now. That's you fucking idiot.
I agree. That's fact. We've been talking for far too long. Here's what I'm going to say. I really enjoyed talking to our guest this week, Cameron Esposito. And here's an update for you before you even listen to the interview /chat.
Spiritual
Awakening.
something.
Cammy and I have been texting today, guys.
Oh, I love that.
And Cammy and I are BFFs. I am obsessed. So, guys, what I'm going to ask of you right now is to just listen to this interview with an open heart and an open mind. And Cameron Esposito, here we go. We all shop online. Listen. We're in a pandemic. I shop more online now than ever before.
That's all I do.
I tried to... That's all I do is shop online. Honestly, it's the only thing that brings me any sort of like relief. It's these chocolate chips. It's these chocolate chips that I've been muting myself to eat during this podcast. And it's online shopping. And honey is the thing that makes it even better. Honey is the free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online. They range from sites that have tech and gaming products to popular fashion brands. That's what we're interested in, guys. And even food delivery. Why not? Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites and then you check out. The Honey button drops down and all you have to do is click apply coupons. And you wait a few seconds while Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site. And then if Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop. Cricket first told
It
me
literally
about this
feels like
before
you're-
Christmas.
I was going to say, it feels like you win something when that little coupon comes up.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even kidding you. My 7.5-year-old, almost 8-year-old, legit was like, Mom, do you not have the Honey app? Like, you got to get this. You got to get it. You're going to save so much money with Honey.
It's for real. It's the best.
And Cricket is not wrong. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. Please get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/busy. That's joinhoney.com/busy. Do it for me, Aunt Cricket.
And then go shop.
In our discussion tonight with our guest, we talk about fertility. Fertility is something that a lot of people want some insight into without maybe going to the doctor, without spending thousands and thousands of dollars or leaving home. Listen, here's where modern fertility makes that possible with easy at-home fertility hormone testing. It's the simple and affordable way to get your fertility hormones tested at home with a simple finger prick. You mail it in with a prepaid label. You get your personalized results within 10 days. Listen, traditional testing with your doctor can cost over $1,000, but modern fertility only costs $159. And you get the same information.
It's amazing.
Also, that's amazing. If you have HSA or FSA, you can use those dollars on modern fertility. You get insight into how many eggs you have, your hormone levels, and other important fertility factors. The results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also talk to one of the fertility nurses to review your results and options for next steps. Listen, maybe you want kids today. Maybe you want kids one day in the future. Maybe you're like, I don't know. Anyway, you need information to make the decision that's best for you. So right now at Modern Fertility, they are offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/best. That means your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands it could cost at a doctor's office. So get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/best. modernfertility.com/best. If you're listening at home, listen to me. I need you to come. I really do.
Yeah.
I just need you to have good sex, ladies. I need you to feel things, okay? If you feel it in your fucking, I don't know. I just feel like the world will change once women are allowed to experience pleasure for pleasure's sake, as opposed to as a means to an end for men. That's where Dame comes in. Dame products are incredible. They're a female-founded company that makes toys for sex that close the pleasure gap. They're making the world a happier place, one vagina at a time. Listen, the Arc is a G-spot vibrator that helps you discover your perfect spot. I just want to say that after launching in January 2020, the Arc sold out in just 72 hours. The Eva 2 is a wearable hands-free external vibrator that works for couples. The flexible wings on Eva 2 hold it in place. Your hands are free. They can go wherever the fuck you need them to. And listen, it provides clitoral stimulation during penetrative sex. Rad. That's rad. Dame offers hassle-free returns within 60 days, so your satisfaction is literally guaranteed. That means you're going to come. Okay. Go to dameproducts.com/busy today for 15% off. Guys, go get a motherfucking vibrator, all right? Put it on your fucking clit and get it. I can't. And for 15% off, that's the best. Yeah. That's dameproducts.com/busy. 15% off site-wide. Guys, go get it.
Go get it.
Okay, Cameron Esposito, thank you for joining us on this podcast, taking a break from your own very successful podcast.
It's a true pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks. Good to see you.
I like that we're giggling. Everybody's giggling, and that's nice. Sometimes when you get on a podcast and it's, say, a bunch of dudes that have comedy backgrounds, then I find it's not a giggle fest.
No, it's not. That is very true. I've had a lot of those experiences myself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I would say it's you know how when a black hole sucks in the energy, like a collapsing star.
Yeah, a collapsing star.
It's sort of that feeling of if you laugh, then other people can know that they've had power over you.
Oh,
so don't laugh.
Oh yeah,
and keep it in.
One of the most
suck out all your laughter.
One of the most powerful things I think that anybody can do. I love this. It's like when a man says something that they genuinely think fucking crushes, and you just look at them, and you're like, "That's what we're saying." All right.
I'm still working up to this. I'm not there yet.
Or you could do what has happened to me my entire career, which is like, that was funny. You know, you're actually pretty funny.
I would never tell them that.
I know. That's true.
Another option is you could laugh really hard in a way that's overcompensating for how unsafe it is.
Right.
Oh yes.
right. Yeah, laugh really hard and turn around and walk away laughing really hard, never stop.
And then take off to a dead sprint, baby. Boom.
Well, oh my gosh. Before we start, I just want to say Cameron Esposito, comedian, writer, author, TV star, so many, multi-hyphenate. We like to say
Stand-up
comedian. Yeah, I did say comedian.
Okay, all right.
Bitch.
Well, specific to standing up.
Yeah,
on
true.
a
It's
stage.
true.
That kind of comedy.
Exactly.
Because
It's
distinctions.
true.
Sometimes.
I just want to say before we get started, because I don't think this will be a part of our like asking Cameron about her pivot story or anything like that, that you are the comedian of one of my favorite all-time bits in the history of comedy, and that is the bit about getting a period.
I also have never heard anything described that way. I am the comedian of one of your favorite bits. That's the best thing ever. I just want to pause for a second and say thank you to Busy for acknowledging that it is different to say that someone's a stand-up. Thank you, Busy. I feel very seen. That's true. That is important to mention it.
I'm glad.
And also, I really, I'm so glad that you like this. It's chunks is what you can look up on YouTube. But it also,
It's
chunks.
yeah,
I know
it's
that. Casey's played it for me. Casey, you played it for me a long time ago.
It's the number one. It replaced the former funniest joke about Chunks that we all know from third grade.
yeah.
Chunks is my dog. And yeah. It's so good. I love it. Everybody go listen to it as soon as we're done
Thank you.
talking
And I
to
don't know if
Cameron.
this clip is findable anywhere, but one of the best things I've ever done in my life. So it's describing the experience of having a period, but also like the what is produced in a period, you know?
Right.
And it's like pretty
Yeah.
specific. And when I was taping an episode of The Meltdown on Comedy Central, I asked, the production was like, what, do you need anything special for your set? And I said, like, can you give me like 250 jelly donuts? And before, like, strawberry jelly donuts. So before I came out to do this bit, they like passed out strawberry jelly donuts to the audience as like a snack.
Oh my God.
So everyone was
Oh my
eating
God, that's
jelly donuts
amazing.
as I was detailing. Anyway, it was really fun. And I
love that.
wanted to tell
The
that
chunks.
story. I also
It's
love it.
such a good it's such a good bit, and it just like really, it's very educational for people that don't get periods. I think that detail is very surprising to people sometimes. I think they think like it's like just like a couple
No,
teaspoons.
it could be
What are you
wild.
complaining
A friend
about?
of mine,
Yeah.
a friend of mine had like a chunk so big that she was like, I'm going to the doctor tomorrow because,
Yeah.
and the doctor was like, you're fine. And she was like, no, I need us to talk about it. And I was like, all right, shit. Yeah, talk about it, girl. Go ahead, talk about it.
I once had a chunk so big I had to throw away a bath mat.
Oh, shit. But like,
I don't, that's so beautiful.
I wish I
I
could have
mean-
seen that. I'm not even gonna lie. You know how like some couples are like, I want to see poops. Like if that ever happens to any of you, fucking call me. I want to see
Wait,
it.
have you
I
ever
wanna-
seen Afterbirth, Shantira?
No,
'Cause
but
that came out of my vagina too, and that was like a whole other person.
Here's the thing.
basically.
That is not as fun, I think, to me. Afterbirth. I just want
Wait,
like
can
a
I
random
ask-
Tuesday.
I want to ask a question about that though,
Yeah.
because Busy, like we don't talk about this very much, right?
Right.
That afterbirth. So
Yeah.
what I do know about this experience of like having your period is often you see it, right? Like
Right.
the product of what has come out of you that's a surprise.
right.
I'm encountering as a person.
Yes.
I'm looking at it. What I don't know is, do they like hold up the after? Do they show? Do you
Well-
see? Are you encountering it?
Well, yeah.
Like, are
So
they,
here's what people don't tell you about afterbirth is
come
that
on, give me the goods.
you give birth to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So what I imagined before I gave birth was that the baby would come out and I would feel immediately different. Like I wouldn't have this giant thing that had been taking up so much space in my abdomen. It would be gone and I would feel like that release. And I gave birth to my first kid. Oh my God, so long ago now. And when I looked at them, I was like, how is this kid still inside of me? Because I hadn't given birth to the afterbirth yet. And once the afterbirth came out, Caissie, did you have natural? I can't remember C-sections.
I had
Right.
C-sections.
But the afterbirth doesn't come immediately after. You have to wait. And the umbilical cord for Birdie was still attached up in my vagina while they were like suctioning Birdie out and everything. And Birdie was like on my chest being suctioned out, umbilical cord still up inside me. And then I think it was like about 5 minutes, although I had like no concept of time at this point.
You were busy. You were busy.
The doctor is still down there. And still hanging out down there, checking everything out, making sure it's all okay. And he was like, okay, now it's time I need you to like push again. And I was like, what are you out of your fucking
I just did
mind?
all of it.
No.
That was a whole push. I
He's
did
like,
the whole baby came out.
I did a giant, by the way, it was a giant baby. And Dr. Crane was like, it's a little push. You're almost done. And he helped because he like pushed onto my stomach at this point, like pushed my stomach and like I pushed at the same time. And then it like whooshed out and they put it in like a giant bucket and I saw it. It was real.
That's
awesome.
You saw the bucket.
Oh yeah. No, I saw the whole thing.
Yeah,
and then
okay.
I sent it to a lady that like dehydrated it and made it into pills. And I
Great.
took them.
Perfect. And you took them in your body and you ate them up.
Yeah. Oh wait,
And
actually
also
no.
your obstetrician is named Dr. Crane.
Dr. Crane.
Fraser Crane.
This
was
is all
your-
right. Wait,
Fraser Crane.
I didn't do the placenta pills with Birdie. That like didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Birdie's almost 13. I did it with Cricket. But I did see, for sure, we looked at the placenta.
You saw two.
And you
I
also
saw
you
two, I
took
ate one.
it with you, seemingly, because
This-
you had to mail it. So
The second
took
one
it away.
I had to sign a medical waste release form.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
This is what I'm looking for.
And when the one that the lady made the pills out of, but the lady who made the pills came and got it. I didn't have to take it.
Oh.
So
I
signed.
feel like that is like if you're signing up for that, like you gotta come get it. Like if I'm paying you for that, like I'm not bringing it to your crib. Like you got to
don't
come
think
get
there's-
it. Like
yeah.
Uber Eats.
I don't trust it because I think it's like some lady with a big dehydrator that has like 15 placentas in it and then she just twirls them all up together. Like always happens at crematoriums when they're like, sure, this is your
God, Caissie. Well, first of all,
We've covered so much. We've covered so much. Each topic is perfect.
I think ethically, because it's blood, you would probably want to be, and the women, the doulas and like midwives who do this, like, they take it very seriously. So I imagine that they clean out the Ron Popeil food dehydrator. And I imagine that they disinfect it or they sterilize it. I mean, they do.
I mean, here's the
according to
thing,
them.
Busy. It's too late. It don't matter now.
It's too late.
It's too
I
late.
took those pills.
You took
It's
them.
too late.
It's over.
Sorry.
You good.
Yeah.
No matter what.
It was fine.
It was good. It was
It was
fine.
fine. But
Yeah.
just real fast, and then we'll move on from placentas. That feeling of the afterbirth coming out was what I imagined actual birth would feel
Just like a whoosh.
like a whoosh, and it was out, and it felt kind of like delightful.
Yeah.
And then my stomach felt very empty.
Oh yeah.
It was not. It was still very fluffy, but it felt like I had gotten rid of everything that had been inside of it.
Wow.
And, okay.
No,
Great.
I really appreciate this because I ain't never having no babies. So I'm not having no babies. I just want to make sure everybody know. Don't ask me about that shit. I ain't having no babies. So I really appreciate you just telling me what it is. So thank you for giving me that's some because they don't teach us shit.
No, it's
news you can use.
Cameron. Have you thought about carrying a child? Is that something that you ever would think of
What a great cue.
doing?
I have, it's what an interesting cue. I have thought about it. It's such a fuck is all I have to say. It's so confusing. I always thought that something would come into my life that perfectly solved this question for me. Like I am somebody, I've never had procreative sex
Right.
in my life. And so sex has never, I've never been in birth control.
That's delightful for you.
I've vaguely touched a condom at a time that might have been 20 years ago. Like, I don't even know what anything is. And I didn't have sex ed either because I went to super Catholic school. So I'm just like in my own lane, sort of just like experiencing sexuality and reproduction is like in a pretty different way, I think. And then I think gender-wise, I've always thought like absolutely will not carry a baby, but this problem hasn't been solved, weirdly, by the universe. I kept waiting for it's like the mist clears and there's like somebody there that's like, I'll do it for you for free, with love, and your egg and my egg somehow, you know, or it's like just like something else is like I end up with like this really amazing, like somehow there's a penis involved that I feel attached to in some way. Like I just have thought it would magically work out, but it hasn't magically worked out. And I am partnered to somebody now who has like a chronic illness. So she has a less good body than I have in terms of like, weirdly, as much as I may hate myself body-wise, whenever I go to the doctor, they give me a big thumbs up.
I love that. Right.
They say, good job, kiddo.
Yeah.
I say, but what about how I feel about it?
No.
They say, doesn't matter. Your cholesterol's pretty good.
Yeah. They don't take that into consideration.
That's a different doctor. That's a different doctor. And it's probably, if the way I have experienced it, not in your network.
The good ones never are, Shantira.
Let me tell you right now, Carla
right.
is not in my motherfucking network. She is not in my network.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
They never are.
So I don't know. You know, I don't know what'll happen. I do know that like, you know, even though I think of myself as gender nonconforming and I have been asked whether I was a boy or a girl essentially since the day I was born, when the doctors were like, we don't know, you know, like what, like just, it's like been, I still was cultured female. And so like, I have been wondering about this question with like a ticking biological clock thing for like a decade.
Yeah.
Like I'm 39 now. I was, you know, I remember being 29 and being like, my whole body will be useless tomorrow, like based on nothing. Like I've never even had, you know, anyway. So TBD, I guess is my answer to your question.
So I don't know if you know this, Cameron, but my kid is, well, Birdie is gay and prefers they, them. We've talked about it on the show. Birdie and I talk a great deal about it, but Birdie is adamant. And now I always say, Bird, you're not yet 13, but adamant that at no point ever do they want to carry a child. Oh yeah. Like that is not in the cards.
Yeah.
Like Shantira, you have felt that way forever.
I absolutely know that I did not want to do that. I also think that like everybody's different, but I knew that like growing up, I felt very adult. Like I had to do a lot of paperwork myself. Like I feel like if you have been a grown up before you're 18, I don't need to take care of no kids. I took care of a bunch of grown ups already. I'm grown now. I did that.
Yeah.
My grown-ups is raised, and now I'm not taking care of no kids. So, like, that is me. Like, that is me. I also, like, I think, obviously, but, like, I want to be a fun black aunt. That is my vibe. I've been trying to slide into that forever. So, like, if you got a baby, I buy all babies Jordans, and then when every birthday, I'm going to give them $100, and then I'm going to go about my business. That is what I've always wanted. But I also have 7 aunts, and they were very influential in my, like, being raised. So, like, growing up, I was like, my parents are very nice, but I want to be one of my aunties. So, like, that's on me. That was my life.
You know, I mean, I hear you. I don't think this is something it's just confusing because... So a couple years ago, my sister had a kid, and my dad is adopted.
Oh.
And so is his sister. And
how old is your sister?
My sister is 3 years older than me.
Okay.
So older. A couple years. Yeah.
You're the baby.
So I'm the middle, and I have a little sister too. Wow. Yeah. And also, many women in my family had kids at like 40, which is unusual for like our parents' generation. Unusual.
Yeah.
Anyway, but my dad's whole side of the family doesn't look like us. because his sister's adopted. They have my cousins, my extended family on that side, my nana and papa that I grew up. We don't look the same. And I just grew up like, however you grew up is normative to you. I never thought about that. But then my sister, so I just always thought I would probably adopt or foster. My sister had this child, and she's the first in my family to have a kid. And so I have never, like, you can't see yourself as looking like your parents so easily. Mm-hmm. But I can see that this child is like of my sister, and it's very affecting. Like, obviously every type of family is valid. I just didn't have as much experience with like a biological family.
Biology is wild.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird to look at.
Yeah, it is.
And to
it's very
experience. They're
strange.
also like similar, behaviorally. And my dad's family and that whole, like, that's still my family. But I just mean to be like,
have the same face.
To get to the age that I am and be like startled by it. Like, holy shit, you look like us.
Both of my sons laugh exactly like my father-in-law, and one of them walks exactly like him. And it's so noticeable to me. Like, that's all I can see is my father-in-law in these two young adult men. And it's so weird to me that I'm like, oh my gosh, like my father-in-law, I made part of my father-in-law in me and put it back out in the world. Very weird.
Also, so many people can't, like, you can't see it. I mean, as I've gotten older, I can see my face more into my parents' face. But like, I'm from Tallahassee, Florida, and anytime I go home, like, everybody else sees it. Like, I'll be in the mall, and one time somebody was like, "Niecy's daughter," and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And they were like, Are you Niecy's daughter? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, we knew it. Tell your mom, hey. And I was like, fuck my name. None of that. You don't care about none of that. You just knew I was Niecy's daughter. Great. So like, it's so funny what other people see. They're like, I have on a hoodie and jeans. I haven't been home in 2 years. You knew?
I need those legs shaved.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what I remembered? I remembered Athena Club. And I remembered the one-of-a-kind blades that are enhanced with a revolutionary water-activated serum that has shea butter and hyaluronic acid for a skin smoothing shave with maximum hydration. And I was like, okay.
Do it. It is, I can't say sincerely enough, it is the best razor. It's just, I'm real picky.
Like legit. It's so good.
I'm so picky about razors, and my life has just improved exponentially.
Tight shave?
Yeah.
What do we say? It's like people say close shave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's a tight shave.
All right. Yeah.
All right. It's been tight. This shave was tight. Anyway. It's incredible. I used the Cloud Shave Foam, and it just like it was like the closest best shave I've ever had. I'm not even kidding.
And
I'm
it
not
also
exaggerating.
Goes really fast is something that I noticed. It's just like really much faster than when I'm like messing around with another razor.
I know. The best part is it's only $9 for the razor kit. It includes 2 5-blade razor heads, your choice of a razor handle cover, magnetic holder for easy storage. New blades are shipped regularly. Athena Club is the best.
Yeah, I have a little blue handle, and the little magnetic holder works perfectly so that your razor's not like falling down in your shower, chipping your shower, whatever. And the magnetic holder's genius.
So, guys, listen to me. For the smoothest, closest shave all year long, do what I did. Do what Caissie did. Do what Shantira does. And switch to Athena Club. Sign up today, and you're going to get 20% off your first order. Just go to athenaclub.com and use the promo code BEST. That's ATHENACLUB.com with promo code BEST for 20% off. If you sell stuff online, you're definitely in the right business. That's where everybody is selling stuff and everybody's shopping for stuff. It's online. That means, though, that a lot of orders are coming in, a lot of orders you're going to need to ship out fast. That's why online sellers like you need ShipStation. No matter how much you sell, ShipStation makes it super easy to manage and ship all of your orders from all of your sales to faster and cheaper and more efficiently. You're going to spend a lot less time on shipping and a lot more time growing your business. No matter where you're selling, Amazon, Etsy, your own website, ShipStation funnels all your orders onto one simple interface that you can manage from anywhere, even on your cell phone.
Easy.
You'll even get access to amazing discounts with major carriers, including UPS, FedEx, and USPS. Easily compare carriers and choose the best solution every time.
It's like
Ship more.
shipping is complicated. You never know where you're going to get the best rate, and it's hard to compare from shipper to shipper. And so this just puts it all in one place and makes it so easy. So then it's like fun to sell stuff online.
So ship more in less time. Use my offer code BUSY to get a 60-day free trial. That's 2 months free of no hassle, stress-free shipping. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and type in BUSY. That's ShipStation.com. Enter offer code BUSY. And guys, make ship happen. Did you just look over your current cold weather wardrobe options and get a chill, Caissie?
I mean, I
Did you?
haven't. My clothes are like out of date now because
Yeah,
like
you got to upgrade. It's
Yeah.
time to upgrade your
Yeah.
old sweater, your jacket, and a Stitch Fix personal stylist can help you pick out the new pieces that are timeless. Stitch Fix offers clothing hand-selected by expert stylists for your unique size, style, and budget. It's a completely different and fun way to find clothes that you'll love to wear. Every piece is chosen for your own fit, your life, and it's the easiest solution to finding what makes you look good and feel your best. You can try your pieces on at home before you buy. I love that. I love getting boxes of clothes and trying
Yeah.
them on in my own home.
yeah.
That's the vibe.
I can't imagine now. It's like because of this pandemic, I literally cannot imagine going back into stores and trying on clothes. I'm not even
Oh
kidding.
no, never doing
I
that
just
again.
want them delivered here and I want to try them on here and look in
Yeah.
the mirror and like feel it. With Stitch Fix, there is no subscription required. You try Stitch Fix once, you set up an automatic delivery, you pay just $20 for a styling fee for each box, which actually gets credited toward pieces that you keep. So that's cool. It
Yeah.
has styles and clothing to fit any occasion, women, men, and kids. They ship all over the U.S. and are available in the U.K. as well. People in the UK, we love
Amazing.
you. So listen, get started today at stitchfix.com/best and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's stitchfix.com/best for 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. Well, I do think it's like it is interesting to think about, and it is just so fun. Birdie said it last night when we were talking about something else, and because I was really hot, and I said, I don't know, maybe I'm going through menopause already. I'm 41, and Birdie is like, what's that? And I said, oh, well, like at some point you stop your periods. Stop, but like when that happens you get like all these things like hormonal whatever. I explained it to them and Birdie was like, right, but like men can have kids when they're 75. And I was like, yes, they can. Yeah, that's right. But at some point, it's like a last call for us.
Yeah.
She understands the vibe.
Yeah.
You understand the Bibby's articulating. Yeah. It feels like a bit of a last call. I think
Yeah.
in terms of wondering about what's next. It's definitely like, okay, well, does anybody need anything? It's not like quite like last call, but it's like, can I get anybody? Like, does anyone want to settle up like before the rush? It's like that time.
Do you want to
But
finish
also,
that?
like, Taryn, like you said, like you're not fucking for, you're not going to get it just by the love that you make with your partner, So like you have to make
Weird, right?
Well, you have to make a choice and then go about it.
A choice and
an effort in a way that like a lot of cis straight couples don't. Like they're like, oh
Nope.
shit, we had like a wild night after that wedding. Now we have a kid, and the decision is made for them is what I'm saying. And like there's no part of your journey as a parent that would be like out of your hands, which is why I understand that you're like, I've been waiting for a lightning bolt to hit my uterus, but
Exactly. I mean, that's what's so funny also about like, I had some conversations about this with my gynecologist, like the last time I was in, and was just like, hey, this like, hey, vaguely, don't hold me to this. Like, don't make me do this, but like vaguely. And it's funny because I am actually in an interesting category. And this is true for a lot of queer folks. I'm in an interesting category of people where like he was trying to give me information about like what it would be like to try at my age or whatever. And he was like, but the problem is that you have like no data, because a lot of these services are for people who've been like, there are a ton of straight couples who like need help with fertility.
right, of
They've
course,
been trying.
They've been trying.
Yeah.
And all of
Yeah.
the data for like what the statistics are like, pretty much many people in that group have ever tried to have a baby. So I was just like, they're like
Right.
I don't know. It's like the data set is zero amounts. Like I have nothing to go from.
I
see if
mean,
this would be.
Your guess is as good
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
theirs.
It's kind of
Well,
funny.
Yeah. Well, I will say something. I have seen you give advice to kids before. I've seen you answer advice letters, and I think whatever way a kid ever comes into your life, what a lucky kid if that happens.
Wow, I might
because
cry. That's so nice. I love kids. I really do love kids, and I really love them.
I can tell. I can tell. Where was it for Rookie that you
Yeah,
gave
I
advice,
did for
or
Rookie.
Ask a Grown Up? Yeah. I'm like, as an adult, I went there to get the same advice that 12-year-olds were getting, and I saw yours, and it was really, really touching. And
I just
amazing.
told Birdie that I thought they should listen to your podcast.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I know. I'm trying to, but you haven't interviewed Harry Styles yet, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to get Birdie on
Not
board.
yet.
I know, but I think you
However-
could.
Yet.
We did get Haley Kiyoko. I don't know if you know this pop star.
Lesbian Jesus?
Her episode came out today. Yes. Yeah. And so I just want you to know, just if you're trying to pitch
Okay.
the podcast, like we have had Tegan and separately Sarah, and then also them
Whoa,
together.
whoa, whoa.
And also
Whoa.
Tegan and Sarah.
Whoa.
Yes,
You split
yes.
them
And then
up?
also Haley Kiyoko. What other pop stars have we had? We've had some pop stars. I don't want you to think
Yeah.
that I'm out here peddling some podcast that doesn't have pop stars.
I mean-
I would never do that to you or anyone.
We should say for people
That only-
for people listening, Cameron's podcast is Queery.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so tell us a little bit about the podcast.
Well, I started it 4 years ago because I realized, and this is kind of still true, that like a sort of serious but also fun and funny, but like real chat. There are these hour-long chats with people. You know, I've had like Olympians, astronauts. It's like wild who has
You've had
said
everybody.
yes to this show. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the coolest people in the world. And I just find that often as a queer person on not a podcast like this, but in an interview situation where you're like being taken seriously, the questions are, you get 4 questions. You never get beyond those questions. I was listening to, and this is like, maybe someday I'll actually speak to this person, so I don't mean to shit on this person, but I was listening to a Terry Gross interview where she asked a queer person if they had ever slept with a man. And this was like in covering this, this was a huge sports star who had, there's like so many questions you can ask. This is not one of the questions. Like we're like gabbing, like this vibe of us like talking about all this, you know, we're pals, we're gabbing. Like that's a very different thing than like your NPR interview where somebody is being recognized.
Terry, that's like an
like,
that's an Andy Cohen question.
It was pretty wild, right? Yeah, it was an Andy Cohen question.
Very house.
And I felt like,
sad.
oh my God.
Spicy.
Like we just are never going to get away from this. And so then that is when I started the show, and I can't believe who has said yes. And it's also like not just like celebrities, but many different types of people who have many different types of jobs and who are many ages. And I'm always, and I know there's like many other queers in my future that I will talk to. So
I thought, just personally, I've been listening to it a bit, you know, trying to catch up because I wasn't listening for the past 4 years. and I'm also trying to be a good parent to my kid.
that.
And there's a lot of information and things that I don't know. And one thing that I think is really interesting, I was listening to your interview that you did with Abby Jacobson, because I know Abby and I love her. Our books came out around the same time. So we had we were like thrown together for a lot of press for our books. And, you know, her book was essentially like, you know, her coming out a bit, and like, and my book, like, also had a lot of confessional and like things in it, and we would just like be sitting in these interviews and they would like how reductive things get like instantly.
Oh yeah.
Which is what you're speaking to, and like in your format you get this, you know, opportunity to really like go deep or whatever. But I thought what was really interesting is that like she was talking about even like the word queer and like identifying as queer, and we're the same-ish. I'm 41, so I'm like 2 years older than you. But I was explaining to Birdie, I was like, look, dude, queer didn't exist when I was in high school. Had it, I don't know, maybe I would have identified it as that. And Birdie like rolled their eyes, because I'm the worst. But also, but in terms of how things are changing, when we went for a tour at the LGBTQIA Center in Los Angeles, because Birdie did a project for school, like a volunteer thing there last year before the pandemic. One of the board members who was walking us around, Birdie was pointing out flags and saying what they were. And the board member was like an older than me, gay man. And he was like, I got to do better. I don't know what any of these are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I think that there's something really informative and great and natural about listening to the stories that people have to tell. And because it's like, we're all moving into a place where we need to have better understanding. Some of these ideas are very new to people.
I think that's right. I think that's a really good, I mean, yes, I think, first of all, I will say a ton of parents do listen, because I meet them when in a normal time, when I'm traveling. Always parents come to my shows with kids, stand-up shows, always that happens. It's the fucking coolest. And I always say to that parent, you are a really good parent. Like, to come with your kid to something that your kid might enjoy is fucking cool. So
okay, I'm gonna definitely do that when you're on the road again. So you say that to me.
yeah. But it's true. So that's one thing that I will say is true. But another thing that is just like interesting. So I find queer culture like super fascinating. And one thing that is interesting is that as a civil rights movement, nothing has ever gone this quickly, changed this quickly. Like, yes, okay, Black Lives Matter had a huge like moment this year, had a huge moment in 2015. You know, there are 2 huge moments for that. The civil rights movement.
We still working.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, shit, like, okay, also there was a huge moment in the 60s.
Yeah.
Also there was a huge moment in the Civil War.
Yeah.
Like, that is a slow moving train. For LGBTQ, like, awareness, rights, and inclusion, it's super fast. And I think the learning curve is really steep. And one reason that it is so fucking fast, by the way, is because there are white men.
Yeah, that's what it
involved
is.
in the movement. So because there are white men who are gay, who have
Right.
money, then that became an
Right.
important thing to care about, X number of years ago. And now the democratization of the internet has moved the needle a little bit so we can talk about other types of people who are part of this group. But it just really is like, there are micro generations, like you being 41 and me being 39. I graduated from college the same week that Massachusetts became the first state to legalize same-sex marriage, and I went to school in Massachusetts. And I went to school at a college where I could not come out because I could be kicked out of school for being gay. So my first girlfriend and I, we were closeted. We went to the final school dance together, risking like
Not
possible
getting your
retribution,
diplomas, right?
Like we just
Yeah,
like weren't sure what would
expulsion.
happen. And then graduated, and then at the end of that week, we stood in front of of City Hall in Boston and watched the first couples get married. So the moment that I was like an adult, we think about graduated from college as sort of entering adulthood. If people go to college, I think that's a real moment that you feel like an adult for the first time. And so I got to feel like as I was an adult for the first time, I could do this thing. But if I was just a year older, I would have entered like air quotes adulthood, because I know not everybody goes to college, and not had this thing. And like that massively shapes how a person feels about themselves, self-esteem. And to think about the world that like Birdie will have, I mean, it's not going to be fixed.
Right.
But it's just changing so quickly that I think it's endlessly fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
And to think about who is still marginalized and why.
Right.
Just there's a lot.
It's really interesting. I have older gay guy friends who a couple of them seemed upset when gay marriage was first legalized in Massachusetts. And I was like, isn't this like a celebratory time? Isn't this exciting? And more than one friend said, it's upsetting to me because I would have lived my life differently if I ever thought this would happen in my lifetime.
It's the French women in the Me Too movement. It's the old French ladies in the Me Too movement where they're like,
Oh my God, yeah.
oh, no, that's just what men do. See, I did it, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Right?
It was.
Yeah.
It really surprised
I mean,
me.
there's
Yeah.
a branch of everyone. I mean, like right now, if you were talking about like millennial version of that, it's like if I paid off my student loans, you should have to pay yours too. The idea of you know
yeah.
what I mean? There's a version of it
seems
for
insane.
fucking
Yeah.
everything. But I also think that there is a thing where obviously with those older gay men, there's a danger involved, right, in doing that. But there are moments where it's like, you could have. Like, not to be a dick, but there are
Right.
instances where people are like, well, you could have lived your life like that, but it would have been dangerous. But I think that one of the things that is like when I think about those people who are like, well, I had to pay my student loans, I think that we have been like indoctrinated to think that like suffering is how you grow, and like to suffer is how you become a person. Like to have bad things happen to you is how you like when people interview you for stuff, they'll be like, now tell us about the worst thing that's ever happened to you and how you overcame that to be a superstar. And it's like, I just want everybody to have a nice fucking life, right? You shouldn't have
it's
to
also
suffer.
like the idea that everybody has got some fucking investment in everyone else's life, like how everyone else wants
Right.
would like to live their lives, right? Like that some dude who's never met me or my kid can come on my Instagram because he has feelings, about like I don't
Right.
know, what do you fucking care? Let me live my life. Let my kid live their life.
But if you're doing that, then I have to think about my own life. And I don't want to
Right,
do
right,
that.
that's right.
So I
Right,
gotta
right.
project on you, baby.
Right.
Well, Cameron, not to make Shantira's point, but what is a time in your life? No, what is what's a pivot? We do like to talk about pivots on the show,
And those don't have to be
on
bad though.
this show. It doesn't have to be a bad pivot.
But from knowing your career, your life and your career, I feel like your life has been rich with pivots.
Yeah. I just nothing has ever made me laugh harder than that. That's the hardest I've ever laughed.
That was like a real laugh.
I'm so glad that was being recorded. I've never laughed once, like in my whole life. I've been holding it in. I have never laughed so hard in my life. Oh my God, that felt great. Okay, yeah. That's how I laugh. That's the first time it's ever been recorded or captured.
Also, I'm getting
Terrible.
your book. I'm sorry that I haven't read it yet. I wanted to. Getting your book.
Life is impossible.
You got really boned on the whole book thing, like so many people, because your book came out in March of
Oh,
2020.
Well, I would like to truly break this down. So my book is called Save Yourself,
Uh-huh.
and it was released
Yes.
week 1 of the pandemic.
Oh no.
Week 1. And also like
Week 1 of the
I have to
panini.
say- yeah.
Damn.
I am pretty good at I'm pretty good at working to myself into a grease spot, you know, like working myself in an unhealthy way to solve a problem. Like I love that zone.
Mm-hmm.
So I did make like an immediate pivot, like book tour. Well, I canceled my book tour to be like, I don't want people to get sick on my watch. And then the next day the NBA was canceled. So it was just like, I think we're just like, I think just stuff's not happening.
Yeah.
You know, like, but I was like announcing it like, because I care about you. But it's like, no shit. Like dudes, like books, like stores don't exist. Okay. Like congrats and everything. But like,
Yeah. When
The NBA totally
the
stole your
NBA
idea.
shut down, when the NBA shut down, when I used to work at Apple, when Apple shut down, I was like, oh
Yep.
shit.
oh, this is
Oh,
real.
no.
I was like,
okay,
I was like, Apple? They don't turn down for what?
But
nothing. I knew it was
That's
over.
right.
The Genius Bars closed. It's a
Yeah.
wrap.
I know. It was pretty great though. I have a really supportive community because so all of those book tour sales, you know, there were tickets sold and all of those had to be returned. So essentially it was like then the book was for sale in like 3 days and there were like no books sold. And
Because
so
a lot of, for listeners at home, this is what we will call a book break,
Yeah.
or a publishing break.
Book break.
We do Hollywood breaks. We do lots of breaks where we explain some things.
yeah.
But when you do a book tour in support of a book that you have coming out, oftentimes the tickets include the book. And they partner with indie booksellers around the country. A lot of people don't know this, but independent booksellers sales count for more than big box store sales of books when you're talking about getting on the list, the New York Times bestseller list. So what you really do want are those big venues that you're selling out for you.
It was a huge bummer and a huge bummer for the book because, you know, many people work on it. But this was also like nobody knew what Zoom was yet.
Yeah.
I know, it's so
I just knew about Zoom. I knew about it from like an unrelated thing. So I replaced all of my book events with like virtual events, which nobody was doing yet, which I only say because nobody was talking about Zoom bombing yet. No privacy settings existed.
Oh.
My girlfriend Katie was just in the other room and I would scream to her, something terrible has happened. At one point, Saeed Jones was on, like these like amazing literary writers came and did these panels.
Yeah, because
with
you were
me.
interviewing like
Huge,
big
awesome
star writers.
Amazing.
And it would be me and then like also hundreds of queer people scared out of their minds in their homes with their cats. And then a Zoom bomber came and took over the screen and screen shared the most hardcore pornography I have ever seen in my life.
gosh.
I don't know if you've ever seen poop go into a butt.
No.
Oh my God. I have only seen this because of this. And also, like, Zoom is such a new technology. I couldn't figure out, like, what did I hit? Like, what is the showing butt shit go into butts button that I just like I actually did the move. I slammed my laptop shut. Like,
Did that stop it?
it did because it disconnected the thing, but then I had to like tweet and say like everybody rejoin and then like anyway, but all of this is just to say like
really
somehow this book was still a bestseller, and it is because the queer people that came to all of these events and bought it from indie bookstores and all that. And
They showed up for you.
I, in return, gave them a ticket to see this display of
But like scatological
also, like,
pornography.
that was
Why?
so intense.
Like why? Like I'm I'm sitting at home and I'm like, I know what I want to do tonight. I want to log into Zoom and I want to do this. I know what I'm gonna give Cameron Esposito's crowd.
I hope that person bought a book.
It's like
I cannot even imagine, like, because I mean, do they have to watch it? Like,
I don't know.
I've
Yeah.
done screen sharing on Zoom. Like, I think it actually just displays it for other people. So it's amazing to think about that too. Like, how brilliant that is.
Yeah.
You know, sure, you've got that stored on your computer, but you figured out the one way where it can play, and you don't even have to watch it.
if that person is listening, why don't you go like fuck up some student loan debt or something? Like you seem to have a skill set, or like
You're a hacker.
Yeah.
Because he's literally 12 years old.
yeah. Well, that means you got the time. Shit, you ain't got no bills, so go ahead and
That's
help some
true.
people out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that
But
was
all of
that was
this-
a pivot.
so that's a huge digression from the question that I was asked, which is about a pivot. But that was a pivot.
But a
That's
good one.
Pivot. That's a pivot
yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
That's a pivot.
You know? Yeah.
I've had a few pivots just this year. You know, I was like I had this very weird experience of like, you know, I started doing live performance when I was in college and got a job right after college. I had a day job for a long time, but I've just been doing this for a really long time. And then I moved to LA sort of at like this time where it honestly felt like they were like, we've never seen a lesbian. Like I was like,
When was this?
in
When was this?
movies, 2012.
Yeah, they had never
Seen a lesbian.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like my haircut became a wig that was then on SNL. Like people were just like, what is this? Like
Yes.
people couldn't figure out what was going on. And I was coupled with somebody who also did stand up. And it was like this whole thing was just like, what? Like, and you know, I also am like a hustler. So I was like pitching the UCB for a show. Like, can I have a show here? And then that was turning into a television show and, you know, whatnot. All of this stuff was happening and it happened very quickly. And then my marriage fell apart. And after that, I had like a year of just not being sure like where I fit in terms of where I live, because many of my friends were people that I had met through my job. And so there was like all of this kind of baggage and I was really destroyed. I was destroyed. And so it wasn't necessarily, I couldn't cope just using stand-up for the first time ever in my life. And I had this huge shift for like a year and then the pandemic happened. So it's been like these sort of 2 years of like my like train was on like a very specific track, and then it really was like the twirly mustached dude like flipped the track, and then I was like, whoa, going over here, and like and like I've just been going in a different direction, and it's been pretty wild. Like I was supposed to go on this book tour, and then I was supposed to go to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and then I was supposed to do an off-Broadway run of this piece that I was working on about divorce, and none of those things happened. So I just had this massive opening in my schedule, and I decided to go to divinity school.
What? Wait, weren't you going? Wait, did I make this up? Weren't you always?
No, I was. I actually weirdly have it like a thing right here. I just realized. Yeah,
Like you grew,
like this
you
is
grew
like-
up so
right,
Catholic.
Yeah.
This is me dressed as a gay
Yeah.
pride. grew up super Catholic, and I like was a theology major, and I wanted to be a priest. I was like a believer, you know, and then I read all of the things that the Catholic Church actually teaches, and I was like, oh, because it's like one thing to like vaguely know about what's happening at Mass, but it's another thing to like go live in Rome and like read the stuff and be like, oh, I think this is actually colonialism. And I think this also is like pretty not cool for women. And I'm gay.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So I had like this massive shift away from my faith and just was like a full atheist for a bunch of years of my life. And anyway, I had this like willingness or interest in seeing what was happening with the folks who are in spiritual community, because I have been feeling a little tired of stand-up. Like I made a special that was called Rape Jokes that was about my own sexual assault. I was just kind of like, dog, I think I'm like chill for a bit on like saying my big giant piece. Like I think that I can kind of take a break. And anyway, I don't know what's going to happen with this in the future, but what I will say is that because of the pandemic, I was able to enroll in classes at like 5 different institutions and like petition different professors and like join their like these take a bunch of master's level classes in divinity.
That's really cool.
Including from my former thesis advisor at this school that really rejected me. And his class was called Forgiveness. Like, has this ever happened in your life? Because this actually happened in my life, where I went like, I wonder what this professor's up to that 20 years ago I felt respected me, even though no one else did. And he was teaching a class called Forgiveness, and I reached out and said like, hey, I don't know if you remember me. And he said, I was just listening to you on NPR because my book had just come out. And so we have like a relationship now, and check in via Zoom. And I took like, I don't know what will happen, but I will just say that first of all, I love that I have completely quieted. All of you.
We're listening.
I'm fascinated. Yeah, we're listening because it's really interesting and
fascinating
and unexpected. But
it is unexpected. I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, for so many reasons. But it's not. I don't know. It doesn't seem super wild to me. Do you know what
not for me. No, well, I think many stand-up comics might not do this, but I might.
Well, I was going to say, knowing you and knowing how you are, the important things that you've done with your comedy, because I did want to touch on Rape Jokes, because I think that's a thing that people that love comedy, people that do comedy, a lot of people say like, oh, you can't make a rape joke. And I think you speak to that so effectively. And an episode of your television show also sort of centered around an unexpected rape joke and the fallout from that, and looking at it. And it just meant a lot to me that you bothered to talk about it. So it makes a lot of sense. It's wild that you're going to divinity school. That seems like a wild twist, but it's also actually not.
Yeah,
like
I
it
agree.
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not currently enrolled in any classes because I needed to take a break from them to work on some other work projects, but and like make money as opposed to just spend it on. But I've been having like a pretty massive shift just in what's important to me and in what I'm spending my time on, and I am so much happier actually, and I'm so glad that these things have happened in my life.
I think that that's relatable to a lot of people coming out of what surely is one of the fucking wildest times on record this past year. But I do think that one thing that we can, most of us, get down with is the idea that it's caused everybody to stop and just examine what it is that they're doing and what they care about and what is happening and where they're going to go, from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what the fuck? I don't know what's happening.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Turns out.
Anything can happen. And also your partner had COVID.
Yes.
Oh right. Oh God. Oh shit.
Yeah.
During
Right.
Yeah.
all
Oh
of this.
God. Yes. And it was not good. Right. It was really scary.
It was really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right when I first met Katie, she came to visit me in LA and she got a cold. But she doesn't, her immune system is suppressed because of what's going on because she has an autoimmune disease. So her immune system is suppressed.
Yeah.
So this cold turned into pneumonia and collapsed both of her lungs. And she was hospitalized for 10 days in 5 different hospitals. And then she had to live with me for 5 weeks. We were like just barely dating. And so my point is, when she got COVID,
I'm sorry to laugh, but that is like a wild
it's
first date.
That's
wild.
wild. That's
First
a movie.
wild.
Yeah. It just never
Wild,
ended.
yes. Well, she eventually got back to New York, and it really was that's the movie. Is she's in a wheelchair, and I'm bye, and she's flying back to New York, and then she ended up living there for another year, and we just dated long distance. But anyway, yeah, my life has been wild. She moved to LA, all of her stuff got here, and she completely gave up her New York apartment February 1st of last year. So imagine we move in together February 1st and we're let's see how this goes, trepidatious, and it's literally boom, you're in it.
Right. Forever.
And so when she got COVID, it was super scary because she already has lung damage and a rotten immune system. And so she went to the hospital a couple times, but she ended up mostly convalescing at home, and it did take a long time, but she's okay.
I'm so glad.
But you were instantly thrust into the role of caregiver.
It's wild. I think she's also, I will say she's incredibly, she's got a really cool job. She's an editor, she's a book editor. Yeah. She's a really smart person. She's really independent and has her own whole life and her own set of friends. And also, it is complicated being with somebody who has a chronic illness because we are not, our bods don't do the same things. And I never was somebody who I did not realize how skewed my understanding of my privilege in this area was. But my bod works pretty great. Actually, it turns out.
It's interesting. I think that's something that a lot of people have who are full body abled, or right? Is that what we say? Guys, come on, help me.
Able-bodied.
Yeah.
Able-bodied.
Yeah, able-bodied.
Okay, able-bodied.
Yeah.
And it's also something that probably all of us are going to face in some form at some point, but we just don't even think about it right now.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I think that's one of the most, that's certainly something that she talks to me about and that we talk about is, that you're out of step with your peers.
Yeah.
So odd because
Tricky.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you also got a dog, which is cool.
What I'm saying is my life is fucking calm and I'm always keeping it chill.
Yeah, you have a vibe.
You are very calm seeming with in the middle of every storm.
You're making it work.
Yeah.
What do you do with divinity school at a certain do you think teaching is in your future?
This is the degree that people are getting who are taking the classes that I take are people who are going to be spiritual leaders.
Right.
Actually practice.
Okay.
Yeah. But maybe not maybe minister, but I don't know that I'm not sure if it's something that I will continue to follow or not. It's more so it's been interesting to wonder about it. That's why I started taking the classes. Is this something that I do I want to work in ministry? That's what I thought I would do to begin with. But it is funny too because I'm an older student compared to the other folks, and I've had a completely weird life. Mm-hmm. A sort of an unrelatable life. for a divinity student.
I think
Right.
I wish more people who have lived a life did go to divinity school. I think that like as I grew up like
That's
Southern
a good point.
Baptist, you know, and I think a lot of not even I think a lot of religion is like these young men being taught something, and then we are supposed to go to those men for them to interpret God. And I think that a big part of, I mean, like I am a believer, but I do think an important a part of not just religion, but like an important part about God is your personal relationship with God. And I think that what happens and what has happened is so many people leave their personal relationship with God in the hands of people who went to school for it or people who are in their family, obviously. And I think that when I moved to Chicago, when I was 21, I like found the church because I knew we went to church every Sunday, but nobody ever told me why. I just knew it was a thing we did. You know what I mean? And I think that even if you are not a believer, I think it's like, as a comedian, I don't like to make fun of something unless I fully understand it. People love making fun of God and they don't have a relationship with God at all. And that's perfectly fine. But I do think that it's the more you know. I was like, I think your jokes would be better if you took a divinity class. So I really think that like, that's really cool. And even if you never use it, like, I really love the idea of like, we could all learn a little bit more about everything, but I definitely think we could all learn about a little bit more about God and whatever that is to you. So I really think it's cool.
Do you feel like you have like, are you back in like Jesus, believing in Jesus and God and the whole and Mary and all of it?
That is such a good question, and I like love it. No, that also was never what it was like for me when I was like fully in.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with this like very social, Jesus was a social activist, was the part that I thought was chill. It's like this very leftist side.
Yeah, Jesus is lit.
Of
He did a bunch of cool shit.
Catholicism. Yeah, it's truly, it's called liberation theology, and like it's the part of Catholicism where like in South and Central America priests were overthrowing governments. Now, do I like think that the Catholic Church has like good intentions? Like, no, I don't actually think that. I think that institutions and systems mess with a lot of things. But what I found is that like the idea of like working to make things better, unfortunately for me, was like implanted in my body and mind and soul by faith. And I was curious to find out, like, has anybody made this? Is there a version of this that could work for me still? Like for instance, the Black church, like folks, like, can I study what the history of the Black church in the U.S. is? Because like,
It's very different.
that's a group of people who weren't exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't need to tell you, but like, I took a class at Harvard that was called Black Women in the Black Church, and it was like me.
Was it taught by a Black
like, a
woman? I
zillion-
hope.
Yes, it was. There were like 2 white women, many Black folks who were also at the experience of like being able to be at Harvard for the students. This is what they were saying, and be in a class like this was like truly wild because it was a visiting professor also from an HBCU. And anyway, which is its own problem. Why don't they just have a Black woman on staff who teaches?
Right.
It doesn't. But yes.
Right.
Anyway, this is all just to say that like I was there sort of trying to listen and read along because I was like, I just wanted to know more about, is there a faith that doesn't inherently marginalize? Like, is there a faith that rejuvenates and that works in justice? And, you know, so, I mean, it's complicated because some parts of the Black church are also very homophobic.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like, it's a complicated thing.
I think that like just growing up in the Black church, I think one of the things too is I think that like we can get into a whole discussion about like religion, and that's why I like to focus more on my personal relationship with the goddess of the universe, however you want to describe it, right? I personally don't believe we came from nothing, and I explore that idea with like my humanity, my personhood, with like the balance of the universe, right? And I think that I didn't get all of that from my Black church, but I did get a lot of the idea of faith, how to clap on the 2s and 4s, you know, fellowship, and also like how to read a fucking room. I think that there are so many things that are like fucking Tyler Perry and Medea will like make fun of the Black church, but like again, you can't do that until you fully understand or have immersed yourself in that experience. And I think it's like, it's really cool too, because like I always say like Black people know everything about white people. Like I've been to Catholic church. I know your what's the fuck is all your fucking hymns, your slow ass shit. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns. Like I gotta know Seinfeld. I gotta know Frasier. I have to move in this world. I know everything. But so many people know so little about us, right? And even in that class at Harvard, white people need to take that fucking class, right? Black people take it to feel comfortable when white people need to take it so that we don't have to be so uncomfortable. So I think that like that idea of like, obviously I always say like your relationship with God, but like go watch a Black church on Zoom and see like how a little bit of faith gets a lot of people a long way and that it might not sound the same or look the same, but like a lot of us are inherently more alike than people think. And I think that church, a lot of times people feel divided in that, but like at the end of the day, like the 10 Commandments are pretty lit. It's like, don't kill nobody, don't lie, pay your taxes. And it's like the indoctrination comes from a lot of times letting other people interpret that stuff for you.
I'm fascinated by this. Cameron, you probably don't know this. I'm gonna send one chapter of my book and make you read it. But it's about my Catholic upbringing and getting pregnant when I was 15. And it was really fucking wild, man. But so I deeply feel you in a lot of ways. I have issues with my kid because I think that my kid could greatly benefit from like a spiritual practice. But Birdie really thinks like any religion hates them and doesn't want them involved. And so preemptively has been for many years like absolutely never. I'll never be into. It's tricky because also what do I point to? I'm like, okay, yeah, I hear you. That's right. That sounds right.
I mean, absolutely. You know, it's well, one thing that's true is that, and this is at least, you know, to sort of the boundaries of my knowledge based on like a bunch of undergrad studying and then like some grad studying. So like, I'm going to speak in generalizations here, but, I was talking to the professor for that class, but then like a different class too, because I would ask in these classes, talk to me about queerness, talk to me about queerness, talk to me about how that's included and so in the Black church in the US, many queer folks like stay, you know, and because that the church is also like a social organization and also provides like social services. So it's like a community center and also like where you're maybe getting your like vaccine. Like it's just like, it's a lot of different things. But like white folks because we have so many other things so many other options, we left. Like white queer folks left because we like had neighborhoods and LGBT centers. We were safer sooner. And for that reason, like faith communities that are at all inclusive, that I feel like there's like the stereotypical like liberal white church, like that is not something I'm super interested in. Like that's woke to the point of getting in its own way.
Right.
And then there are a lot of faith communities that just don't include us, and like,
Right.
or faith communities where, where it's like, I love the person, which is different than condoning the
Action. Right. Of
and
course.
it's all
Right.
just like, there isn't really a model of any faith where queer people have gotten to stay, be like fully seen and accepted in terms of doctrine, and then also where the faith to me feels like what I knew growing up. Like there are these like very, hippie, but that doesn't feel like unfortunately for me, I just doesn't feel like.
Have you been to Temple?
I have not been to Temple, and maybe that's
I have
the
to tell
answer.
you, I think that Temple Icar in Los Angeles is like one of the greatest fucking places in the world. And I actually just said to Mark yesterday, because we attended a Zoom memorial service, which like, that's just, what people have to do now. And it's so fucking weird. But Rabbi Sharon Bruss is the rabbi from Icar, and she was like leading the service. And I said to Mark yesterday, I was like, if we went back to Los Angeles, I think I would want us to join Icar. And he was like, well, you're Catholic. And I never got bar mitzvahed or anything. And I was like, we would figure it out. It'd be fine. I think we would figure it out.
I mean, I think that's beautiful, first of all. And yeah, there's a lot left to explore. One thing that I just think is what continues to captivate my imagination is, so I took like another course that was about women in prison during COVID. And it's like the people that have access to the information about what is happening in our prison system, many of those people are people of faith. Like those are the people who go in and give classes and like do outreach. That and folks who do 12-step programs are
Right.
also the other folks who are like breaching these boundaries. And I think about like who gets to be there when someone's during the service that you're talking about, or who gets to be there when someone's sick and dying. And that is what continues to captivate me. It's that like we want people, we want to be connected, and there are people who are able to go have sort of a boundaryless connection with others.
Yeah.
Who can like show their badge and then they go in and they talk to women at the women's prison.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're under this like umbrella of, a thing Jesus said or whatever. But like, I want to get in there too. So that's so I'm curious as to how this will continue to unfold.
I know. I was going to say, are you starting your own religion?
I was going to say, are you starting a church? Because it seems like when people gatekeep in religion, they're picking and choosing what.
Exactly.
So why could
We're
you not?
you know what we hate? You know what Caissie and I hate more than anything? The fucking gatekeepers. We hate them.
So why could you not pick and choose just in the same way what serves you? And it sounds like you're that old saying, words without deeds are nothing. And it sounds like you're very interested in like a life of some service and a life of activism and those kind of things. So like we need that.
Also,
Whatever
though, I
it's
am
called.
just going to go back to what I said earlier, which is that Birdie, I really do think Birdie would benefit from a community with some spirituality. So if you did start a church,
You already got a parishioner.
we might join.
Joined up? Yeah.
I went to Temple once for my friend's kid's bar mitzvah, and it was right before COVID, but it was like happening in other parts of the world. And she gave such an incredible sermon. I mean, like truly like tears streaming down my face. And this was before anyone was like, it's coming for us. She was like, it's coming for us, because like she talked about the Talmud and the roots of the trees, and I fucking don't know, dude, but it was like about how we're all connected. She talked about some forest where like the trees, like if one tree dies, then like so far away, super far. I'm not a pastor, okay? Like
No,
I'm
no,
not a rabbi.
That's not why I'm looking at you like
Okay.
this. That's very funny. That's why you're the end of my book. the like epilogue to my book.
Oh shit, I have the craziest deja vu right now.
I'm just telling you, Busy, that the epilogue to my book is this story. This is why I'm like looking at you like, what are you saying to me? The epilogue to my book is this story where years ago I was performing in the basement of the Ace Hotel in New York, like the Midtown one, and Reggie Watts was on that show before he was just like a cool comics comic at the time, but everybody thought he was the coolest, right?
Yeah.
And he was sitting in the front row of this show on a couch, and I was performing. And while I was performing, I had this visual experience. I had this like imagination moment where I felt like I was a tree and my roots were going down and they were connecting through the floor to all of the people in the show. And like I was breathing through their mouths and they were breathing through mine. And like it's that feeling of connection that I really love about stand-up. And after the show, Reggie came up to me and said like, that set was amazing. I really love that set. And like, I think what my favorite part was like when you were a tree and you were like connected down through, but I hadn't said that on stage at all. It was a spiritual experience that I had that he named and said back to me. So are you telling me
Right now.
that you just described
Yes,
to me
the same fucking
somebody
thing.
saying that exact
we're
same
the
thing?
trees and we're all connected, Cameron. And
That's
and
wild.
I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that I think that you need to go meet this rabbi.
Okay, that's the three. That's the only. It just was me that one time in my own head, Reggie, and then you.
Now
That's the only
me.
time I've ever heard anybody talk about these trees going down. Those are the 3 times. What the fuck?
Well, this is very special. Anyway,
Well, I'm sweaty.
that's really
So
amazing.
sweaty in a good way.
And-
What do you mean?
I love that.
I know. I really also, by the way, that's like the rabbi like has been doing like Zoom things, and there's like a really incredible sermon on grief, on collective grief, and like what we're missing in this time. That is fucking incredible. But what she was saying on the dais about the trees with the roots, that was just at my friend's kid's bar mitzvah. That was just like a random ass Saturday. No one was filming it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it exists anywhere, but like it made such a huge, like I've thought about it so much in the last year.
Something is happening. I mean, I will say that. I'm having that experience again and again. I just have had this wonderful year of like yes, everything is terrible, and for many people that are not me, much, much worse.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what has been wonderful about this year is that I am like choosing connection with other people, which is something that for a long time, like from the outside, someone might think that a job of performing in front of people is a connected experience. And it can be that tree thing, but it's also very lonely and it's very apart, to tell other people that they have to listen to you or charge them even. And then you're like, this is a one-way conversation. And if you talk, I will kick you out. Like,
And not only that, I'm going to eviscerate you before I kick you
I will
out.
destroy you calmly, and then you will leave and you will not get your money back. Like that is somebody who is really having a hard time connecting with other people. Like that's what I've learned about myself is that like I'm so glad that I had this skill because I think I felt very unsafe when I was a younger person, and I really needed to like be like, okay, these 5 minutes are mine, and I talk and other people listen and I tell them I'm queer, and I like, I and people can see it and it's witnessed, and so I'm not going to be murdered right now. Like it really was like kind of a life and death thing for me. But then, 20 years in, I'm like, I don't want to live like trapped like that forever, trapped on the stage, and everybody else, there's a moment where you like realize that your dream was to be speaking to thousands of people, but then suddenly the camera pans around and you realize they're all friends with each other and they're all on dates and they're all going to go home and talk to each other and you are fucking alone, you know, like it's not like it's fucking whatever that, you know, Bradley Cooper movie. I don't want to be Bradley Cooper.
A Star is
I don't
Born?
want to be Bradley Cooper in a
No,
Star is
no,
Born,
You
know?
don't.
No.
You don't.
And also, she should have left him. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it should have never gotten to that point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cameron, I want to say that I have been such a fan of yours for such a long time. I also find you to be just an exceedingly kind person. I think that apart from like all the identity stuff, which is so important, and I'm so glad that people that are facing those identity issues, I just think that you're an exemplary human, and I think that you're a really special messenger, and I think that your comedy has been ministry all along. Whether
Whoa,
you know,
say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
I think that your comedy has been ministry all along for people that needed to
That's
be
it.
ministered to on, you know, particular things, myself included. And so I'm just so happy to see your face and so happy to get an opportunity to talk to you about all this really cool shit.
Yeah, me too. You know, Cameron, it is also the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, it is. And also, like, I don't really believe in coincidence. So, like, this isn't weird at all. And instead,
Right.
like, just makes perfect sense.
It makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. Exactly. Well, that's like, my life is like, should I just tell Cameron so she doesn't have to read my fucking
Yeah, sure.
book?
Yeah.
Cameron, on the day that I had been given at Planned Parenthood that my baby would be born, I was at the Vatican, and Pope John Paul, through a series of fucking wild events, kissed my forehead.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
And that just made you feel like you were able to go on.
Well, of course. It was
Yeah.
like absolution. It was like everything that I like. Nothing short of the Pope himself would have, seriously, nothing short of the fucking Pope himself would have
Well,
made me
wow.
feel okay. And so
I mean, we should talk. But I also went to an audience with JP too. I mean, yeah.
JP2
We
was
have
the
many-
real fucking
we have-
deal.
he was. I heard him speak.
It was
five
cra-
languages. I
like-
can't believe he kissed you. Anyway, we have many things to
Yeah.
discuss.
I want to like talk, but Karen, can we
I
like
know.
actually just hang out later?
Yeah, let's just
Can we
have,
like, can we make a plan?
let's have a hang. I
Let's
think
have a
that
hang.
sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause this whole last
We've
like
derailed
20
the podcast
minutes of the
into
podcast.
just friendship.
Well, that's all we're in it for, you know, to meet
Truly.
people that we love.
But I do want to say, because we have a lot of parents that listen to our podcast, we have a lot of, you know, straight identifying cisgender women that listen. As the parent of a queer child, I think it's really important to like listen to these conversations and have some understanding. You don't have to then tell you, just FYI people at home, you don't have to then tell your kid about it if you don't want to. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't,
Yeah.
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 Birdie just
Absolutely.
is just going to roll their eyes at me if I,
No,
you know.
I think that's super cool parenting. I really do. And I also, there's just a lot of like interesting history stuff on the show also. I don't know. I'm pretty proud of it, to be honest. There's like some pretty cool stuff on there.
It's really, really cool. It's such, the podcast is Queery. Again, you should definitely subscribe to it, download it,
subscribe.
buy the things that are advertised on it. And just, you know, Cameron has a book, a special, so many things that you can just be enjoying while you're home. And they're all just very, very high quality. And
I'm
things
getting the
that-
book tomorrow. I'm going to my
Things that are
local
really-
bookseller.
They're very funny, but also a lot of things that you just kind of need to hear. And I'm just a really, really big fan of you as a comedian and as a person.
Yes, me too.
Well, this was incredibly fun. And also, I'm a different person.
All right, that was Cameron. I love her. I love him. Them.
Yeah.
Her.
Her.
Cameron has them and her.
Yeah.
There you go.
She, they.
That's great.
We contain
She,
multitudes. We contain multitudes. Honestly,
I'm going to
Cameron's-
buy a book, guys. My gynecologist today that gave me that pap smear that I loved recommended a book called What's Your Pronoun? Beyond He and She by someone named Dennis Barron. He, him, his. That's Dennis's pronouns. And I'm going to buy it tomorrow. And I'm very into it.
Nice.
So I'll figure it out. I might be she, they as well. I don't want to step on Birdie's shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
well, I think that like grammatically we're all they,
Right.
But-
That's right.
but inside, emotionally, physically, who we are as a being, it's always evolving. So maybe one day you will find that to be the pronoun for you.
Well, all I know is that we're all learning, we're all growing, we're all pivoting at every moment, at every second of the fucking day. And our dear, sweet Shantira has some news that she's going to share with us.
Well, sorry, there's someone knocking at the door and they won't stop.
Hold on, guys. Hold. Of course. What'd you get?
Is it
Is that for
vulva
me?
chocolate?
It's not.
This is I think from the we got a Amber Ruffin got a WGA nomination, and I think that they sent us. I got a bottle of something. I think that's what this is for. But that's why they wouldn't leave it outside because it's booze.
There you go.
There you go. Sorry. The announcement is that the next podcast will be my last, not forever, just for right now. This is see you later, not goodbye. But we just wanted to let you guys know that I love you, and to tune in next week if you want to hear me talk some shit.
We're gonna do a very special podcast next week. Here's the deal. Shantira very generously donated her time, her energy, her talent, her love, her wisdom to this show for the last
Since summer.
27 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, since the summer. And in the summer, COVID vibes. Jobs were scarce. Things weren't happening the way that they are currently. Shantira is a writer and a performer by trade. And these jobs just keep coming for our beloved Shantira. I mean, really, they really do. Like,
Right
so
now,
many
yeah.
fucking jobs.
Right
Yeah.
now, they keep coming and they don't stop coming. I'm very blessed right now.
You're
You're also
hashtag blessed.
talented. Yes.
Your
Yes,
hashtag.
thank you.
Caissie, I was going to say that. I was going to say
All
you're
right.
hashtag blessed and hashtag talented.
Thank you.
And you have to take these opportunities. But that being said, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. And one thing that we all, i.e. me, I'm probably Caissie too, really respect and love about you is the fact that you know your boundaries and limitations, and you're able to say like, this might be too much. I need to look out for myself. I need to look out for my work. I need to look out for my quality of work and my quality of life. And it might be too much for the time being to like continue to devote a couple hours a week to like doing this podcast, because I have like multiple other jobs that I'm now committed to in this other area that I'm like very, very committed to like being successful at. Right?
Yes, we work really hard to bring you guys this podcast, but everybody here works really hard, and you guys deserve people who aren't exhausted. And that's just like how it is. Right now I have 2 full-time writing jobs, and I love you, and then I hope you love yourself enough to know when you're spreading yourself really thin. So I hope that that's something you take away from this, that I still love you, but like we got to take care of this bod. this new body.
And you have to peace for a while. You got to peace out for a while. You got to like go do a thing and drink that Veuve Clicquot that was just sent to your fucking house.
I wanted to show you guys what it was because I know that y'all be knowing what stuff is. I don't know. One time I got a bottle of this when I got a job, like my first job ever. I got it. How do you pronounce it, Busy?
Veuve Clicquot.
Is it Veuve?
Okay, so yeah, it's
It is
Veuve.
Veuve.
Yeah,
I can tell by the
yellow,
There you
right?
go.
The
Yeah.
yellow. I worked at a place.
I mean, I saw you guys, just for you at home, there was like, we just saw a flash of yellow. And I was like, that's a Veuve Clicquot.
Yeah, so I got a bottle of that, but I didn't know that it's like a decent price, probably like anywhere from like $70 to $100 for this bottle. It's the most expensive thing I'd ever gotten for my first job, and I put it on my desk. And like the person who like owned the production company was like, "Whose is this?" And I was like, "Mine." And they were like, "Oh," like he was like very surprised. And I was like, "Why are you so surprised?" And then I looked up the price. It was like $100 even. I was like, "That makes sense." For him to be like, "Why do you have this expensive champagne on your desk?"
Oh
so
my God.
that's how I know what this is. But this is my second bottle ever in 5 years.
Shantira, when
mean-
I got married to Matthew Debenham, my former boss, David Letterman, very generously sent a case of Dom Perignon, which was
Whoa.
very nice
Yeah.
gift. And I saved it for the rehearsal dinner because I was like, a lot of my family will be coming for the rehearsal dinner. And I love champagne. So I was like, my family probably doesn't get fancy champagne a lot. I'll put it on ice. I'll serve it at the rehearsal dinner and it'll be nice for my family. Like that's really what I truly was thinking. Like, let me give my family the experience of Dom Perignon. And then I overheard my aunt saying it tasted like dirt and I almost took it away from her.
Yeah, it's just like, you don't get to keep this. You don't get to have it. So I don't think this will taste like dirt, but I got that. That's where I had to go, you guys. But that's what's going on, you guys. That is what's up.
So a little bit of change, which is hard for us because we'll miss you because it's so fun to just talk to you every week, like podcast aside. It's
We will
just fun
miss
to
you.
like, we'll miss you, but you'll be back and then
And
you
the
know,
group chat is alive and well, baby.
the group chat's
Can't
alive.
wait for that.
Yeah, and hopefully like when we have some of our other mutual friends on, you'll listen in and weigh in the group chat on how you think we did and all that stuff.
I'll have notes.
I guarantee that you will have notes. But we will miss you. But also, I fully respect your ability to advocate for yourself and know like what you need to do a good job at your other jobs and like also I don't know. I like told my therapist that you were leaving this week and she was like, "That's right." Lita was on board. So you know what I mean? Like Lita was like, "Yeah, I get it. That makes sense." So
Shout out to our therapist, baby.
shout out to our therapist for like understanding and like getting it all. And as soon as Lita was like, "Yeah, that makes sense," I was like, "I know it does." And then I, even though I had said it really did, then I really understood. Then I really felt it.
Shout out.
But I do love you, Shantira. I really do. And I'm so grateful. Next week is going to be just a full Shantira episode. And then I'll get teary then. I'm not going to get tery right now. I can't. I'm not going to do it.
No, you can't
But
cry on your pizza.
I'll get teary next week when we're going to do a whole Shantira episode. And we're going to go through all the fucking shit. I don't know. But guys, also listen, if you have suggestions, we have a bunch of people lined up that are going to come in. But if you have ideas of people that you would like for us to invite
To be a co-host for a day,
to guest
a guest
co-host,
co-host. We're not looking for Ryan Seacrest, and
No.
also Shantira's irreplaceable. So
totally
Thank
irreplaceable.
you.
So we're just gonna continue to have a fun time and introduce you to other friends. And I totally can't wait for Shantira to text us about how we're doing. And also, we'll tell
Come back.
you how she's doing. Yeah, keep up with what she's doing.
But also come
because-
back
Yeah, I'm gonna come back.
someday.
Yeah.
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 You're right.
Yeah, there's already somebody that I like want to come back for. I mean, like, sorry, I mean you guys, but I love them and I want to talk to them.
Oh no, I'm curled up in a ball. I can't even. Gina and I are curled up like in a little ball. Okay, so anyway, so next week is our all Shantira all the time
Celebration,
Episode.
spectacular.
celebration.
It'll be a vibe. I'll wear my Angela Bassett shirt.
Night of 1,000 Shantiras.
It's Night of 1,000 Shantiras.
That's too many.
It's the Comedy Central. It's the Comedy Central roast of Shantira Jackson,
And you can roast me there.
hosted by James Franco.
Oh no! Hosted by Adam from the food show I like.
Oh, there.
Hosted by the guy from the food show
Adam
that told someone to kill themselves.
he knows how to roast people. He knows how to roast
He's-
people and food.
All right, guys.
All right.
We
Anyway.
love you.
We love you.
We love you. Next week's going to be fun.
It's gonna be a vibe.
I'm sad. I might cry.
I'm sure
Well,
you will.
but
I
not
mean,
really,
let's-
but not really.
Let's
I'll
not
be
act
fine.
like there's a
Yeah.
chance that you won't. That's weird to pretend.
So rude. So rude. You know what we didn't even fucking get into is the end of Girls Five Eva.
Mm.
We didn't even like, because I was so on the like pap smear,
Yeah.
like maternal mortality.
We can do it on mine because
Situation.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I
On my
know
episode.
because
That'll be your gift to Shantira to run it down for her next week.
You know I love Sarah Bareilles.
You guys, my favorite thing ever has been doing Girls Five Eva. Like
Aw.
literally the best thing I've ever been in. I'm not even
Aw,
kidding.
That's great.
That's awesome.
My entire career led up to this moment where I was in Girls
Wow.
Five Eva.
I can't
Renee
wait.
Elise Goldsberry a couple weeks ago turned around to me, Paula Pell, and Sarah Bareilles when we were doing so bad. And our dancing and singing was like, you guys, we are killing it. Like, oh no, you've turned into your character. We are not killing it at all. No one thinks we're good here. No, that's not true. We were really good. We were really good.
I can't wait.
Um,
It's gonna be my new favorite show.
And you guys, it's my favorite show. I loved it so much. I can't wait to tell you. I can't believe I didn't even get into it. I got so sidetracked.
We sidetracked about a lot of important things.
A lot
for
of things.
a lot of
yeah.
women.
Important
So-
stuff. And we can talk about it next week.
And we will.
All right. I love you guys. Gina's curled up, ready for bed. Cricket is upstairs. I can hear her waiting for me to come read her. Rocket goes to school and
Oh
tell
yeah,
her I love her.
it's getting late out there.
Aw.
It's
Yeah.
late. It's 9:13. Next week is Shantira's last week.
So we love you. Email us. Visit us on Instagram. Talk to us all week. And then
If you have any Shantira specific questions
Yep.
for next week's show,
speak now.
please email now or hold it until Shantira comes back sometime in the future.
busydoingherbest@gmail.com. You can email us if you have questions for Shantira. And we love you guys. And we'll see you next week. It's going to be fun.
Have a good week.
Love you. Bye.
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 Oh no.